Yo, 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 yo. This be Danny Boy in the house. Just gonna wait for some more people to gather into the chat room and we'll start the show. That's right. Gather, gather, gather. Come one, come all. Welcome to the Juggalo Takeover. What the fuck is happening, motherfuckers? Welcome to another episode of What the Fuck is Happening Now? Special edition on over here on Carnival Spirits. We be those ninjas in action. This is for the Juggalo Takeover 2.0. And this is a special episode tonight where I will be covering the Marvelous Missing Link era. This is also going to be, I'm going to make this be an open platform. Eventually here in a couple minutes, I'm going to drop that link in the chat. So anybody of my ninjas, I don't care who you are, can come up on here and we can discuss this era. I also have, thank you to Roxy Riddlebox for being the host and holding this up for me at Carnival Spirits. Roxy, I don't know if I am stuck in the small screen or not. So maybe if you could check that for me real quick.
Looks like you are good.
Okay, I'm appearing like I'm on a big screen because I don't understand how this works very well
It's
yet.
all set.
Cool. So anyway, you guys, welcome to the Marvelous Missing Link cast. We here are about to enter a new era. We have a new Joker card upon us very, very soon. Fearless Fred Fury will be here on February 15th in less than a month, you guys. The Marvelous Missing Link era has officially come to a close. Well, it almost will be in a couple weeks. Whoop, whoop. I want to take a chance to say whoop, whoop to everyone in the chat. This is going to be an interactive podcast. I want to be able to talk to the ninjas in the chat. I want the ninjas in the chat to be able to come up on here. So whoop, whoop to all of y'all. And let's get this show started. I first of all want to just mention how the Marvelous Missing Link era has actually the longest Joker card era in history. It's the longest period of time between two Joker cards that has ever happened in the history of the Dark Carnival. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Marvelous Missing Link era is will be about 3.5, almost 4 years. Almost 4 whole fucking years, you guys. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm going to be going over the timeline about everything that, so much shit happened in this era. So much happened that it is truly impossible to be able to actually cover all of it. But I did try to write down everything I could remember and the highlights, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hell yeah. Fearless Fred Fury is going to be fresh ×2. I'm hoping you're right, Spooky. And hey, thanks for coming over here and dropping in, man. It's good to see y'all. Let's get this fucking chat rolling. Roxy, I want to be able to introduce you. You are, after all, the host on Carnival Spirits. So it's not just me up in here tonight, you guys. Roxy Riddlebox is also going to be joining me in this hangout. Here in a couple minutes, I'm going to drop the link in the chat for anybody that decides they'd like to pop on. How's it going, Roxy?
It's going good. I just want to thank everybody for coming by tonight. And, it's a hard time for some ninjas, but happy y'all are here. And
yes.
I will be in the background just kind of helping this shit move right along. So,
yes, and I actually wanted to start out with that. Condolences to the ninja. I think his name was Big Nick.
Yes.
I did not know this ninja personally, but I did hear about that he passed away today, and my condolences out to him, and my condolences out to his family and friends. That's a really rough thing to go through. There's been a lot of ninjas passing recently, too young. So, moment of silence for that ninja, and prayers go out to him and his family for sure. So I understand how it's a hard time right now. So yeah, it's just get through it, you guys. So yeah, moment of silence to him. Rest in peace. Oh, you want to see Roxy more than me, Big Venus? All right, I see how it is. Well, no worries. You will be able to see her just fine. So I want to start out with the. I'm going to be talking about kind of the events of what's going on, the whole timeline, a period of events that happened during the Marvelous Missing Link era. A lot, like I said, has happened, and there's just so much to talk about. Yeah, loss in the family is hurt in the heart. Rest in Shangri-La, Ninja. JP, good to see you in the house. I'm glad to see that you came by. Much support, you guys. So this is going to be a long podcast. It's gonna. I'm kind of going into an in-depth review of everything that happened in this Marvelous Missing Link era that is finally coming to a close. So I just wanted to remind everybody, 2014 at Hallowicked, officially the Marvelous Missing Link was dropped. It was really it wasn't dropped, but it was revealed to the world as the third Joker card in the second deck of the Mythology of the Dark Carnival. So Hallowicked 2014 marked, I would kind of say, the beginning of that era. But I don't really want to count the era starting until we actually got the first pieces of music from that era. So we started out here with a Vomit single on April 5th or April 7th, 2015. We officially got the single titled Vomit. I remember I heard that shit, I think the day it came out, and it really got me hyped. To be honest, Vomit was probably one of my favorite songs on Lost. And so that was a little bit of a bummer because after hearing it, I thought that Lost was going to be an absolute banger. Not to say that I don't like Lost as a whole, but Vomit to me was kind of the best track on it. So it gave me a good impression of the album. And then I got to admit, I was a little disappointed with the rest of it because we did actually receive the Marvelous Missing Link Lost on April 28th, 2015. It also happens to be the Duke's birthday, Big Violent J's birthday on April 28th, 2015. The Marvelous Missing Link was dropped. All right, JP, yeah, you can just hop in and out, whatever. You know, we're just going to keep this going until it's done. Spooky the Fungi says Flamethrower was the best track. So here's I really did enjoy Lost. Now, it took me a little bit of time to fully digest the album. When it first came out, I wasn't super feeling it. I was kind of, we didn't get any Mike Clark production on it. It had a kind of different sound than Bang Pow Boom and Mighty Death Pop. So it was a little bit harder for me to digest at first. But after listening to the album a few times, I actually really enjoy Lost. And just like most Insane Clown Posse albums, sometimes they don't make sense fully until you get the whole picture. So it didn't take until after Found came out, I was able to appreciate Lost a lot more. So anyway, that was officially dropped in April. 3 motherfucking months later, exactly on July 28th, 2015, at the Gathering of the Juggalos, the 15th annual Gathering of the Juggalos. Or was it? I'm sorry, the 16th annual Gathering of the Juggalos. Marvelous Missing Link Found was officially dropped. And I know a lot of ninjas have kind of contrasting views on those two albums. I have my opinion about it. My opinion is Lost. I enjoyed Lost better. It was just, to me, more of a dark album. It was it had more of that Wicked feel to it. And I love let me try to think of some of my favorite tracks on Lost. I actually really enjoy Confederate Flag. I'll have my hatchet, or I'll keep my hatchet. I think that's a sick track. Like Spooky the Fungi said, Flamethrower was an awesome track. That also goes along with Explosions. Explosions was super hardcore, hyphy, and Apocalypse. Those are probably my favorite songs off of the Marvelous Missing Link album. Lost, that is. Now, Found, I didn't really like that much. To be honest, I can skip through about half of that album and not even be worried about it. Found was a little bit too soft and a little bit too poppy for me. Now, let me just go back and just restate this real quick. The concept, the Joker card concepts for the Missing Link, Lost and Found are beautiful to me. That was such an awesome idea to be a part of the Dark Carnival mythology. However, I believe musically, they could have been delivered way better. And to be honest, I'm one of those ninjas that actually likes the Outtakes album better than Lost and Found. I feel like if you were to take all the good songs from Lost, all the good songs from Found, and all the good songs from the Outtakes and put those together, you would have a killer Joker card. Again, ninjas, that's just my opinion. Let me try to catch up here a little bit with the chat real quick, because like I said, I care about y'all. I want to answer your questions and get you up on this motherfucker. Roxy, you're also welcome to pitch in at any time. Tell me what your thoughts were on any of that. I know it took you a little bit of a long time to try to get into Lost and Found.
Yeah, I will say I'll give just a couple of my favorite songs off that shit. So Get Clowned, of course, was fucking killer. And I also enjoy I Fucked a Cop. That's a pretty great song too. So those are a couple of my favorites off Found.
Yeah, Found definitely has less of my favorite tracks than Lost did. I would say on Found, there's probably a good 5 songs I actually enjoy and don't skip. Roxy said one, I Fucked a Cop. That's just a hilarious song. It's more of like a Shaggy 2 Dope song. I love Shaggy. He goes hard on that shit. The thing I really enjoyed about Get Clowned is it almost felt like a new age Hocus Pocus or something. It had that same kind of Dark Carnival-y, hyphy, that type of track, just like not a story track, but more of like an anthem track. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Get Clowned is actually probably my favorite song on Found, to be honest with you, just because it reminded me so much of those old school days and of just that. It had that feel to it. Get clowned, nuts to your chin. Get clowned, put up your anus.
Yep.
Like that shit, it's just like old school ICP to me. It was dope.
Yeah.
Found was for me, Lost was for those who craved wicked shit. Yeah, and I agree with you partly there, Spooky, for sure. I was craving the wicked shit at that point. As much as I enjoyed Mighty Death Pop, and I will still say the Mighty Death Pop is my favorite Joker card of the new deck, it still was pretty upbeat and kind of poppy. And so at that point, I was kind of ready for just a dark, wicked fucking album. Anyway, so when Lost came out, I was totally feeling it. Most of it. I did, I'm a Denver ninja. I grew up with Axe Murder Boys. Young Wicked was doing a lot of work with the Clowns at this point, and I really enjoyed the production and, his backtracks and his choruses that he did on that. Hate me all you want, but Young Wicked is an amazing artist. He's a great singer, and I think he actually added a lot to that Lost album, for sure. Clowny songs. That's a good word to put it, Spooky. Yeah, that's what that kind of Get Clowned song was to me. Fucking Pineapple Pizza, I Fucked a Cop. And I actually love just the Found anthem. Just the beginning title intro track. I love the Found anthem. And like I said, conceptually, it's a beautiful dualistic album. They couldn't have come up with a better concept. Just musically, I felt like it could have been executed a little bit better. in my opinion. I felt like there was quite a few songs off Found that has me literally cringing because it sounds like I'm watching, you know, my 5-year-old's Sesame Street VHS. I'm gonna be okay. We're okay. Okay. We're me okay. We'll be okay. Yeah, to me, it's just major fucking cringe on a lot of that. And conceptually, I fucking love it. Like I said, I'm just repeating myself. Hatchet Reviews, he loves Mr. Whitesuit. Great song. I'm Sweet was also one of my favorite songs off that. I know it's a cover song of some fucking band I can't even think of right now because the original song sucks so much dick. But Violent J was able to make that into a dope song. I'm Sweet is a super catchy. Found, yeah, okay. Times, Dreams of Grandeur, yeah, and I think Dreams of Grandeur was personally, I think that was about Blase Rose, but that's just my opinion. So yeah. Anyway, that didn't want to get too much into my opinion of these albums first.
Blase Rose.
Oh, we're gonna be talking about Blase Rose in this because whether you like it or not, she was a part of this era. So next, kind of on the list that I wrote down. Now, remind me, you know, I just wrote down from my head of everything I remember happening in this time. So if you guys think I'm forgetting something important, let me know. Yeah, and Spooky, you know, that's the way I see it. It's kind of like the Wraith. You know, you don't have to believe in God in order for the music to be meaningful to you. You can still find meaning in it in an absolutely non-religious way, and that's what I think was beautiful about Found is that it helped a lot of motherfuckers realize, like, hey, I'm missing something in my life, whether it be God, whether it be spirituality, whether it be a girlfriend, whether it be whatever. That was just so beautiful to me that it just showed such a dualistic concept of the person, you know, that we've all been down and out. We've all had our missing link lost. And it was really an outreach to get the juggalos to understand, hey, go find your shit. It's almost like a little preamble to the fight back thing we're about to get from Fred. It's just the like, hey, pick yourself up and find that missing link that will make you happy. And I think it's absolutely fucking awesome. Juggalo Party is one of the worst songs of all time. I'll say that right now. But anyway, moving on a little bit with what the timeline was going on. So Found was dropped at the Gathering of the Juggalos 2015. And around this kind of time, around this era, I noticed you start seeing a little bit more Young Light. That's right, all you motherfuckers that didn't remember. He was actually called Young Light before he was Light. I started seeing him a lot just doing contests and actually for the underground rap battle at the Gathering. I don't know if any of you guys seen Joe Gone Juggalo. Joe, he won the fucking rap battle, and Light was also in that shit. Light took second place, and Joe took first. I think that shit's funny for anybody that's never seen Joe Goes. Go look up Joe Goes Juggalo. That shit is classic, a fucking classic. That album was great to walk through 4 feet of snow and negative 10-degree weather for an hour every day to work. Found or lost? Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to have another segment of the Dark Carnival. What the fuck is happening, KJ Riddle? Whoop, whoop. I didn't see you in here before. Welcome, welcome. So yeah. Hashtag so yeah. So yeah, also what happened kind of more towards the end of 2015, sadly, John Kickjass, Shaggy Two Dope's older brother, passed away in a group home. And I remember there was quite an epic Juggalo show in tribute to John Kickjass. That happened at the very tail end of 2015. So again, you know, rest in peace, John Kickjass. You know, that's a whole nother story in and on itself, but I figured I'd like to mention it because it did occur during this era.
I hope to see that John Kickjass documentary too. Rest in peace.
Yeah, that's another thing that was announced at the 17th Gathering was a John Kickjass documentary, and we still haven't seen anything about that. So, but I'll talk about that more in a second. Juggalo Party's your jam, Dark Prince. Well, more power to you, brother, because I hear that song and I have to turn that shit off right away. I thought I didn't like Juggalo Island from Bang Pow Boom, but when I put Juggalo Island next to Juggalo Party, Juggalo Island is way better in my opinion. Like I said, I felt Found was the best so far out of the new deck. Not that I don't think the other cards were great. I just personally prefer Found. And you know what? I'm friends with a lot of ninjas that share the same sentiment as you had your reviews. And, you know, a lot of these ninjas, it helped them out of a dark time. And I fully support that. I think that's absolutely awesome. That's what the magic of the Dark Carnival is really all about. You know, that's why the Juggalo world is so awesome, because my opinion doesn't have to be the same as yours, and the magic can touch you in a different way than it touched me. So what happened after that? Well, we start seeing Young Wicked a lot more. Young Wicked is kind of being taken under Violent J's wing. He's kind of like the little brother, it seems like. He's constantly touring with them. He's doing shows with the clowns. You're seeing a lot of Young Wicked solo stuff coming out. So Young Wicked is pretty heavy on the scene in this point. For all y'all just tuning in right now, I'm talking about like 2015, kind of the end of 2015 era. We're seeing a lot of Young Wicked. Young Wicked revealed to have done work on Marvelous Missing Link. That kind of caused a little bit of controversy in the Juggalo community, but what's done is done. Young Wicked did do a lot of production for both of those albums, and he's even featured singing and rapping on some of them as well. Island and Homies over Party all day. I agree, but I wouldn't even put Homies in that same mix, because Homies is just way above any of those. So anyway, just wanted to remind you guys that this is kind of the period Young Wicked was fucking on the scene, and I wanted to kind of go a little bit into the first Riddlebox show, the 20th anniversary Riddlebox tour, that kind of kicked off at the beginning of 2016. And Roxy, do you want to talk a little bit about that show?
Talking about the one in Albuquerque at the Sunshine Theater?
Yes, the first leg of the Riddlebox 20th anniversary tour.
Oh man, that was quite the show to remember. 505 Ninjas know how to get down. That was an epic show. And it also happened to be, ironically, my first ICP show. Out of all these years being a Juggalo, I could never actually make a show until that one. And I feel like it was the perfect first show for me, because I mean, Riddlebox and the 505.
You are the Riddlebox.
It was amazing.
So how did it feel to have your very first Insane Clown Posse show was the Riddlebox for Miss Roxy Riddlebox?
I just felt it was fucking suiting as shit, and it was just extra fucking wicked and magical. I remember that night I was in the mosh pit the entire time in 5.5-inch stiletto open-toed heels, and I moshed for the entire fucking Riddlebox set. Regretted the shit out of it the next day because my feet were fucked, but it was way worth it. Way worth it. What's up, Beastmaster?
Beastmaster, good to see you in here, man.
What up, man? How you guys doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
Did I just come in here and hear you say you were moshing with high heels on?
I was.
Up in here too.
Yes, it was 5.5-inch stiletto open-toed heels in the fucking Riddlebox mosh pit in Albuquerque. Jesus. And oh man.
You know, I know
but damn,
that can't even keep up with their sneakers in the mosh pit, let alone some pumps.
Roxy killed it in that pit. She stayed on her feet the whole time wearing these fucking tall stilettos. I think we were tripping a little bit too. And man, we just fucking rocked that shit. That was an amazing show in Albuquerque. And I was really glad to be able to take you to that first show, Roxy. I think that was awesome.
Fuck yeah.
But also kind of going a little bit into what Young Wicked was doing at that time. He also was opening up for the clowns on that tour. On the first leg, I do remember seeing Young Wicked. Spooky saying he never really liked AMB, but he could see him evolving into a great producer. And this is kind of the time I was starting to see that too. Like, wow, you know, I grew up with AMB, but look at Otis. He's really shining. He's really putting in work for the Hatchet. It seemed like he was really gonna go places. But that's will be talked about later on in the show.
What sorry, I didn't know the context. What tour are you talking about?
So right now we're talking about the 20th anniversary Riddlebox tour that was kicked off at the beginning of 2016.
Yeah, I can say that, you know, those late years of AMB on Psychopathic, they always killed it on stage. And I mean that like sincerely, as someone who's not even a fan, because I would go to the Juggalo shows, and you know, during those opening sets, I would always be socializing, talking to my friends. A lot of us weren't even giving a fuck about the local openers or even some of the openers on tours.
Right.
Most of the time, we're there for the main event, you know. And I would always check out AMB, and I noticed that they were getting better, and they were fucking good live, you know. And that's to their credit. Like, despite my taste, you know, real recognizes real, and those guys are good live. Because there's some artists that I like their music, and then you hear them live, and it's like, But like on the Hatchet, AMB always killed it live, just like I don't know, like Anybody Killer. Anybody Killer doesn't even need a hype man. He's just good live, you know.
Yeah, I feel that same way about Ouija Mac. I feel like Ouija Mac's live show is just it just gives you another perspective. If you've only heard the studio shit, go out and see him live, and it's definitely way different. So yeah, I'm really glad you, Beastmaster and Chaos, you joined in. This is an open platform. I don't know if you heard, we're really just discussing the Marvelous Missing Link era, everything that we'd like to talk about, anything that touched us, anything that impacted our lives during that time. Right now, I'm kind of just going over a brief timeline just to kind of remember everything that happened. But y'all feel free to butt in anytime and just talk about, you know, whatever.
What do you have the years offhand? Because I'm you know, I'm a stoner, so I'm trying to remember. Like, so this is like the era leading up to now. But when did this start? When did that come out?
So Hallowicked 2014, we were revealed the face and the name of the next Joker card. However, it didn't take until April 28th, Violent J's birthday of 2015, to actually get found. So I'm kind of considering the era started when we first heard, or I'm sorry, not found, lost.
Lost, yeah. I know what you mean.
So I'm pretty much saying early 2015 to now. And I don't know if you caught it earlier in the show, but what I was saying actually is this era is the longest Joker card era in the whole history of ICP.
Yeah, but that's only because we had a false start to Fearless Fred Fury. It was supposed to come out last Halloween, and it didn't. So it's like we're in overtime right now.
Yeah, overtime, absolutely. So yeah, not ever has a Joker card lasted, you know, 4 years until another one came out. So it was the most extensive time period of a Joker card era for sure. So yeah, I was just kind of talking about the first leg of the Riddlebox tour. Like I said, me and Roxy Riddlebox, we happened to go to Albuquerque to catch that show. It was off the chain. It was definitely one of my highlights. It was Roxy's first ICP show, so it was a beautiful fucking time to be there.
Your first clown show always holds a special place in your heart. Like I feel, you know, I remember my first clown show like it was yesterday, and it was literally like 22 years ago.
Yeah, that shit won't ever leave your mind, man. It just kind of feels like yesterday, doesn't it?
Yep.
So yeah, just moving on a little bit, I was just kind of reminding everybody this is kind of when Young Wicked was really doing a lot, kind of under Violent Wing. And so around this same time, Steve Miller, a Michigan author, came out with a book, an actual book, like sold in bookstores all across the nation. It was called Juggalos, the Insane Clown Posse, their fans, and the world they made. So that book came out, I think, around the end of 2015, early 2016, sometime around then. Have any of you guys read that at all?
I have not. I actually, sadly, don't even own it, and I really, really want to read that book. And, you know, it's 2019. I still haven't gotten my paws on it.
Same here, man.
I got a million excuses, you know, so I'm not even going to say one of them. So,
yeah, I would like to get that book too. I haven't actually got my hands on it either, but from the ninjas I've talked to that have read it, it's definitely a read.
I'm a huge fan of the Joker. You know, when Twisted covered the Joker.
Yeah.
That's the same Steve Miller, right?
I don't think so. I think he's an author.
I'm kidding, y'all. Y'all know that the Steve Miller band is a joker and a smoker and a
midnight toker. Not the same Steve Miller, man.
Okay, different Steve Miller. My B.
Yeah. No, it's all good, man.
Stoner.
Another memory that kind of got me around this time, I was thinking back to like late 2015, and I remember some flyers actually coming out promoting the Phantom Extra Spooky EP, and it also promoted Violent J's Karma Forest, as well as Shaggy's Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker. I have those flyers somewhere buried in my room. As we all know, Karma Forest never came out, but this was kind of our introduction to the Phantom CD, which actually turned out to be the Marvelous Missing Links Sideshow EP.
It's funny how, like, you make these best laid plans. Violent J's like, I'm all about motivating people. I want to make a motivating, positive album. And then, like, the world came crashing down on him as everything fell apart. And he's like, you know what? We need to fight back. It's like, record scratch.
Yeah, change the tune. And I think
he flipped a bitch. He's like, we're going the other direction.
I think that's actually what he said. I think someone asked him at a seminar a couple years back saying, what happened with Karma Forest? And he said something like, you know, that'll be happening in the future. But right now, Fearless Fred Fury is in the foreground right now.
There's a time and place for all that good stuff. And
totally.
And everything happens for a reason, too. So I'm not even tripping.
We might get it someday and we might not. So exactly. I ain't tripping either. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. But this kind of leads into the next little thing that I thought was a really big event that happened in Detroit was the 2016 Juggalo Day weekend, where they actually performed the Ringmaster. I was not available to be there, but I have seen footage. I know some homies that went, and I think that's a pretty big show to have happened, considering they haven't done any Ringmaster show in ages.
Yeah, that I remember there was, like, not a petition, but some ninjas from my neck of the woods, you know, were really advocating for Juggalo Day, Juggalo Week. Back then, it was still Juggalo Day. You know, they hadn't really made it a weekend yet. I think it did become a weekend. It was a 2-day thing, because I remember Esham was on one day of the night, and then the next day it had different headliners. And so I feel like that was like the first time they made Juggalo Day a weekend, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, even though I wasn't there, I've watched that. I'm a fucking mark. I've watched that footage from that show. And to me, there's just so much energy and karma coming from that. You know, it reminded me of an old school ICP show that, you know, they were letting ninjas on the stage the whole show, not just for Fago Armageddon. You know, it just felt like a good old fashioned ICP show. So I thought that was definitely noteworthy.
Oh, I didn't finish actually my sentence that I was trying to say.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not you. It's just I you know, I get sidetracked. There are juggalos from my neck of the woods that were advocating for the Ringmaster album performance Juggalo Day to take place in Worcester, Massachusetts. Like, everybody was like, there was a flyer that was made. It had the forks up, forks down. It was like Ringmaster for Worcester or something. And I remember I was like, oh hell yeah, that would be a dream come true, because I still have never been to a Juggalo Day.
Yeah.
You know, they're always mad out of state, like always.
Yeah, definitely. So nobody in here actually went to that Ringmaster show, I'm assuming?
No, I don't think so. Not here. Maybe in the chat.
Yeah, in the chat. If any of you guys went to that show, tell me how it was. I mean,
and you know it's a given. If you guys are watching this after the fact, leave it in the comments, man. You know, sound off. We'll respond. You know what I mean?
Totally. And I'm trying to keep the chat included in here too, man. Like I said, it's an open platform. I want to just celebrate this era tonight.
Dude's asking me how much for the Bizarre Blacklight poster. Normally, I would say it's not for sale, but I'll give you guys I'll tell you something that I haven't really said publicly on the channel yet, but I am going to be putting up a lot of things for sale very soon. So stay posted. Literally, there are going to be videos with certain relics and memorabilia that I'm now ready to get rid of. And yeah, I'm not saying that I'm selling the poster. I'm just saying I might be selling the poster. Maybe if it's coveted, if the price is right.
So DC Fago guy makes a little interesting point. He thinks that the era of FFF started possibly at the revealing of him at Hallowicked, or even the "Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker" song, "Fogging Up the Window," where Jay yells "Red Fred, Red Fred." Now this is up for interpretation. I would say that's when FFF came into everybody's mind, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's the start of the FFF era. But that's just my opinion, y'all.
I would say that it's not wrong to say that because there are no rules, right? I mean, how do you mark the beginning and the ending of an era? Is it when the album comes out, or is it when the first single comes out, right? Yeah. So maybe Fearless Fred Fury, the era started when we finally got to hear "What the Fuck," which was a few months ago. Yeah. Maybe that's when it started. Or maybe it started when they started selling Fearless Fred Fury merchandise, in which case the era started like 3 years ago.
Yeah, so it's up for interpretation. I'm just kind of trying to do a general sort of estimated timeline. So, if you consider it like that, DC Fago guy, that's cool, man.
I want to know what people think. I mean, when do you consider this era starting? I would love to know what people think.
Yeah, leave your comments in the chat. What do y'all think? When did the Marvelous Missing Link era start / end? When did FFF start?
and when's it gonna end?
Right.
God, this era's lasted forever. It hasn't even fucking started yet, and it's already been the longest era ever.
Totally. And I want to get into a little bit of FFF too, but I want to save that for a little bit later on in the show.
Yeah.
Gonna try to get back here on the timeline a little bit.
All right, do it up.
So we're just talking about the announcement of the 20th anniversary Riddlebox tour. We went to the very first leg of it in Albuquerque. It was off the chain. Young Wicked performed at that one. And later on in the year, in October, we went to the second leg, and it turned out Young Wicked was no longer on that one, but rather Young Light. Again, this was more of when we were starting to see Young Light up on the scene. But before we backtrack that far, I want to go to the gathering here, 2016 gathering, where we learned about the new psychopathic artist, none other than Blase motherfucking Rose.
Gathering 17. I was there.
17. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. My personal thing was I right off the bat kind of didn't respect that she did not show up to her own debut. The whole psychopathic team went on the main stage at the gathering, stopped the show to announce this new artist. And everybody in the gathering was looking up. And come to find out, they played a song from Blase Rose, but she wasn't even there.
They played her music video on the backdrop. Yeah. So we got to see the broken music video, but it was kind of like what's it called? Unclimatic type of, debut.
Yeah, totally. I thought it was a little odd that she wouldn't show up to her own debut.
Look, I don't know the truth, but I heard that she got drunk and couldn't rap. So I don't know. I heard she got too drunk to rap. So,
and whether that's a good enough excuse or not, that's not up to me. What's that, Roxy?
I was just giggling.
Yeah, well, let's hear your thoughts on. I want to hear what you thought when Blase Rose got signed.
Oh, you want to hear my opinion, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I do too. I'm all ears.
Oh, I wasn't a big fan. I'll be honest. I was not a fan of Blase, and I felt her whole persona was kind of lame. Her whole alias thing, and I don't know. I couldn't get into it. I'll be honest.
What was it? The victim kind of thing, or the type of music? What was it?
I think it was kind of all of it. Like, I don't know. Like, she could have done something so much cooler. You know what I'm saying? She could have been like the rapist serial killer or some shit. Like, turn around and fucking stab their eyes out or some shit. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Try to portray that whole, oh, I'm a victim. Like, I don't know.
Don Chaos, Beastmaster. Any of your thoughts on when you first heard Blase?
I'll let Chaos go if he's there.
I really couldn't give her a chance. I don't know why. I just think it was all the hate she was getting. I agree with Roxy. If she would have got the persona of like this serial killer that kills rapists, she probably would have won over a lot of people.
Yeah, instead of being the raped.
But though I will admit, the only thing I really did enjoy by her was her verse off the Psychopathic Cipher.
What about you?
I've got an unpopular opinion about Blase Rose, and
let's hear it.
It's the fact that, look, I got a lot of friends that rap, you know what I mean, and not all of them are that great, but they're really good people. And so when I found out that there was a chick who was signed to Psychopathic, I recognized that this was kind of like a landmark on the label, you know. And they had tried to do it before. They had tried to do it with Tally Demon. You know, maybe they were going to try and do it with Sugar Slam, but they ended up going with this no-name female who was I mean, shit, she's like probably like 10 years younger than me, maybe even more than that. Like, so she's young and she's up and coming, maybe, or maybe, you know what I mean? So everybody's harsh opinions on her, y'all allowed to have those harsh opinions, but you know, when you hear like the same opinion over and over again, it starts to feel like no one's actually really coming up with their own original opinion, because it's so like regurgitated, like, oh, it would have been so much better if blah blah blah. Honestly, whatever happened to, if you think you know what's so dope, why don't you make it yourself? Blase Rose made some fucking music. I don't understand why everyone thinks like, oh, like, I don't like how you made a song about being raped, but the thing is that females get raped, you know. So even if it wasn't her fucking autobiography, she's still playing a character, and her character is expressing a situation that fucking is relatable if you got a net in that's getting penetrated without your consent. So it's like, if you don't like the music, that's one thing. If you don't like the message, that's one thing. If you don't like her image, that's one thing. If you don't like her, that's everything. But at the end of the day, it was her fucking debut, you know? And I got a lot of friends that got music that's just as hard to listen to as hers, and they still get the homie pass. Right. So on Psychopathic Records, I'll tell you what I did like. I liked her logo. I like that fucking that circle, you know, the black and white, you know, with the rose in the hair. I thought the graphic design on that logo was dope. And, you know, I mean, the music wasn't horrible, but I didn't really listen to it that much. I checked it out. I got my free copy from the seminar. You know, you get the Gathering version of her Broken EP at the seminar. Yeah, and you know, Will Sigler was the one who was handing out the tickets.
Yep.
So you know, it's like, man, I'm just not as that quick to condemn someone who gives it their best shot, you know, and it is just an EP. So I was looking forward to hearing her full-length LP that never came to fruition, you know. So we may never know what Blase Rose could have been, because we never gave her a chance. Well, then again, it seems like she didn't give herself a chance, you know? So it's not up to us. We can't make you a fucking superstar. We can't make you successful. That's on her shoulders.
Right.
And she didn't win us over. As a group, as all of us, she had supporters, but she didn't win enough of us over to make it happen. Yeah. So it is what it is. I'm not mad about it either way, but I think it's a little corny how everyone wants to tell her how to make her music, what to write about, how to look. Like, who the fuck are we to tell anyone what to do? I'm just saying. Like,
right. Leave it up to juggalos to always criticize and be judgmental, especially to a new artist that it's on the label. You know,
we're the toughest crowd around. You know, so I give her credit for having the balls to even try. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. Right. But then again, she blocked Carnival Spirits for some reason on Facebook, Instagram. Like, she don't like us for some reason. And I still give her the homie pass.
And to go off a little bit on how you were saying it didn't really seem like she was working towards it. To go along with that, actually, I went to the second leg of the Riddlebox tour in the late 2016, and she was actually supposed to open up for a lot of those shows, and she no-showed to a lot of them, and to me that kind of also showed her lack of work ethic. You know, who's gonna fucking not go to the Riddlebox? You know, like, that's an honor. That's a huge honor.
You know, the first leg of that Riddlebox tour, she was the cemetery girl that was just dancing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I remember I bootlegged that entire show. I think it was the Connecticut or Rhode Island, stop. And the footage, I got footage of her dancing. And then when I found out after the fact that was Blase Rose, I was like, oh, shit, I remember. I went back and looked at it. I'm like, yep, there she is.
Yeah. That's funny. But, yeah, so anyway, I want to talk a little bit more about what kind of happened around this same time, about mid-2016. Boondocks. There was a lot of controversy what was going on with him. Now, maybe you guys can help refresh my memory, but did Boondocks actually leave Psychopathic in 2016, or was it the year before?
I don't remember the dates. I know that he had 1 foot in and 1 foot out for a while.
Right. I think that was part of the problem with the 2015 gathering, is that he kind of announced that he wasn't on the label anymore, and ICP didn't even know that or whatever. I forget.
Yeah, there was all that stuff going around. Everyone was saying, "Is he signed to M&E?"
Right.
Well, you know, again, I don't remember the dates, but there was, Twisted's Astronomicon, Magic Ninja's Astronomicon. Before they were doing that, like, the whole inspiration for Astronomicon came from this thing that they do called Rock and Shock Fright Fest every Halloween. In Worcester, they do this thing called Rock and Shock. They take part of this big convention. There's tons of actors, wrestlers, movie stars. You can come get autographs. There's concerts. It's a 3-night thing. Each night is a different genre of music. You know, one year we went and saw like Hatebreed, and then Twisted is always headlining the Juggalo night on Sunday. And long story short, they do a seminar, right? And so it's like a panel. And this is the shit they do at Astronomicon now. It's like they're like, we're going to do this on our own, and we're going to do our own, you know. But before, they were doing Rock and Shock. So they're sitting there at the panel. Madrox says, all right, we're going to let Monoxide tell you all about some of our plans in the studio. And Monoxide's sitting there, and he's like, oh, let's see. We got this happening, that happening. And then Boondocks is going to record his album. And it was not yet, like, this was during the time when we did not know what was going on with Boondocks, and Monoxide accidentally let the cat out of the bag there in front of a room of like maybe, I don't know, 50 people, 100 people. I wasn't there, but I saw the fucking footage.
Yeah, Monoxide let the cat out of the bag. Violent J got all butthurt, and that's kind of when it started spiraling down. Juggalo John just reminded me, that Boondocks left in 2014, but then he came back, and then he left again in 2016. So yeah, that's what I was thinking around the gathering time.
He actually, like, came clean about maybe like an opioid addiction problem on Twitter. Like, I think he actually was very candid. Whatever social media he used, he did spill the beans on himself, that he was dealing with some pills, you know what I mean? So, but everybody's got their vices, and motherfuckers are rappers, you know, they're not fucking running for Congress.
Yeah, we're not perfect.
What is all like holier than thou, like, you know, we're all these big judgmental pricks when it comes to fucking entertainment. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah, so that's kind of what happened with Boondocks around that time. He was just kind of leaving the hatchet at that point. So going back to the Juggalo, Gathering of the Juggalos 17, the seminar, a lot of news was dropped at this seminar. First of all, it was announced that Dark Lotus would be performing Tales from the Lotus Pod at the following Juggalo Day. That was a big announcement that got a lot of people really excited, because we hadn't heard any Tales from the Lotus Pod since 2001-ish. So also fucking we got the Notorious Wizard of the Hood set that happened at the 2016 Gathering of the Juggalos. That will forever go down in history, in my opinion, as one of the just most memorable and epic performances of all time.
Sure, you're right.
So yeah, so they also announced the Juggalo March at this seminar too. This is when they were really starting to get the Juggaloyer going with everything. They had, what was his name? The Juggaloyer came up and said, you know, this is what's going on with the gang list, and we're gonna go march on Washington. And that's the first that the Juggalos officially heard about the epic, legendary Juggalo March. Was announced at that gathering as well.
I remember being there for that, and you know, that was definitely a moment where, you know, to feel the energy in the tent, you know, when they announced that shit. I was worried, because when you go on the internet, there's a lot of dissent against Psychopathic amongst the Juggalos. There's just a lot of dissent. There's a lot of hate. But when you go to a gathering, when you go to a seminar, it's like the cream of the crop.
Yep.
Like all the downest ninjas, like everybody who fucking puts their lives on hold to cross the country to go to a gathering, everybody who is willing to camp out in front of the fucking stage on some bales of hay for 2 hours just so that they can be up and close for a seminar. Like, it is the most loyal fucking down ass ninjas you have ever fucking met in your life in one spot. And when they announced the march, it felt like a unanimous fucking yes. Fuck yes. Yeah. And I was taken back, because I was looking around. I'm like looking at the eyes of every Juggalo I know, and they're everywhere. I'm like, look at him, look at him, look at him. Everybody was fucking geeked about it. And I knew, and I was nervous though, because I was like, hold on, this is really ambitious. Are Juggalos on board for this? And you know what? They were. And I was at the march. We so were. It was fucking amazing. Anyways.
So yeah, Gathering of the Juggalos 2016 was actually my first Gathering of the Juggalos. I had been wanting to go for years and years due to financial reasons and legal troubles, and you know, whatever, it doesn't matter what the excuse was. I was finally able to get out to my first Gathering of the Juggalos in 2016 to catch the famous Wizard of the Hood set, and sadly, the very last Dark Lotus performance. Now that's up for debate, but from what it seems like nowadays, that is the last Dark Lotus performance that might ever be seen again. So I feel very fortunate to have been able to catch the last Dark Lotus performance, as well as the Wizard of the Hood set, which probably won't be done again as well. So that was a huge staple in this era, for me at least. A lot of really big, epic things at that gathering, at Gathering 17.
Do any of you guys have a copy of the Wizard of the Hood DVD?
I don't.
I actually have it, and I'll show it to you.
Yeah, let's see it.
Let's see, I got it right here. I also have the special Into the Echo Side. This is the Into the Echo Side Wizard of the Hood card, you know, illustrated by Tom Wood. I believe that this card was only available if you purchased Into the Echo Side at the Gathering, which is why it's in like a special case, not even in the box. And then here's your Wizard of the Hood DVD. It's pretty basic. It's got nothing inside of it except for the DVD itself. And
have you actually watched it?
You know what? I haven't. I have not watched it yet. And you know, there's a couple reasons for that. I'm in my feelings about this whole split, you know, M&E, Psychopathic, and to be perfectly honest with you, being there meant everything to me. And when I'm ready to watch this again, it needs to be the right time. Like, I'm not just going to willy-nilly throw this up on the DVD.
Totally. I feel the same way.
And, yeah, you know what? It's probably going to be emotional, and I want to make an event out of it. So, no, I wanted to own it, and I've got it in the cut. And, you know, $665 going up for sale real soon. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Did you cop that at the where'd you
it was a VIP thing, yeah.
Oh, for the Hallow Wicked thing, right?
No, it wasn't Hallow Wicked. It was a tour though. Was it Slam Fest tour? I forget.
No, it was the Hallow Wicked Jubilee tour, I think.
Okay, it was the tour. It wasn't Hallow Wicked in Detroit, but
right, it was the tour.
Yeah, I did the VIP. I've done VIP now for the past couple of years because my best friend wanted to. Never in a million years thought I'd do VIP.
Yeah, I've never once done VIP.
You know what? I'm going to say it. It's really kind of not worth it unless you want that FaceTime with the Wicked Clowns, but it's only going to be about 17 seconds of FaceTime. So, you know, you better fucking enjoy it.
Yeah, you know, VIP is not the first on my list. You know, there's things I enjoy a lot more than.
I don't know. I mean, you could use $100 and you could get yourself some fucking cocaine, some weed. Like,
right.
You could go hang out with Shaggy and Violent J, get an autograph and little bit of swag, memories. Like, I'm not knocking VIP. I'm just saying you got to have cheddar if you want to do VIP.
Got to have a little bit of extra cheddar to spend on that. Totally.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about maybe doing the VIP for this next Shaggy show, just so I can cop that Gloomy Sunday EP. If it ever comes out.
I think it's only $50 because it's only half of this EP, so that's cool.
Yeah, totally. So I'm thinking about doing that.
I'm not thinking about it at all, but if anybody offers me like a free lanyard, you know, if I can get in there for free, I'll do it. Like, I'll be a free VIP, but I'm broke right now, so I can't afford it. Hence selling all my merch. I'm fucking broke. Beastmasters broke. Hashtag Beastmasters broke, y'all.
Hey, hashtag we all broke up in this bitch. But anyway, moving on, unless there's anything else you want to say about that DVD.
Oh, no, not about the DVD. No. Oh, well, I do want to say something about the performance, though.
Go ahead, man.
The background screens, right? Because they were on stage and they had these background screens. When you were there, the screens were projecting light, and it was almost as if the images were fucking 3D.
Yeah,
it wasn't normal. It wasn't just normal like projection.
That was special, man. That took a lot of work.
It was something I've never seen before in my life, and it wasn't just the acid. I promise.
No, same. Yeah, no, I was on acid that night too, but then I realized, you know, this is actually fucking crazy. You know,
it was really special. When the show ended and everything was over, you know, you saw like Twisted ICP, you saw Jay and Monoxide like fucking bear hug each other,
hugging each other, arms around.
Man, I mean, seriously, that right there is the end of an era.
They did Homies. I remember they did Hound Dog in. They did Hound Dogs. They did Homies right after the Wizard of the Hood. Yeah. So they just kind of wrapped it up with kind of like what you just said, the last of an era, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Last time they ever ducked dicks, and since then it's never been the same.
So I give my apologies to anybody that wasn't at the show. You know, I wish you could have seen it. But the best next thing is either get that DVD, or there's actually some really dope footage on YouTube too, man. It doesn't do it total justice, but it's better than nothing. So I strongly encourage anybody that hasn't seen that footage to definitely go watch it, because that's a legendary performance indeed.
It's a great album. It's just a fucking dope album. It's
one of my favorite. Yeah,
concept album. You know, Violent J. He really when he came up with the Wizard of the Hood concept, like way back before the Joker's cards even came out. I mean, there's like 3 versions.
Days.
Yeah, I mean, because they re-released it on the Carnival of Carnage,
Yeah.
and then they'll do a whole fucking flushed out album. And
Wizard of the Ghetto.
Right, and the Dawns of Psychopathic all chipping in and playing a role. Like, it was just fucking perfect, bro.
Yeah. To me, The Wizard of the Hood is one of those albums. It's so high up there for me, man. It can't be touched. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to kind of bounce out a little bit to the later end of 2016, where it was officially announced that Young Wicked was off the label. In fact, it was New Year's Eve. It was December 31st of 2016. Young Wicked. I was actually at that show at the Roxy Theater in Denver. So was Roxy Riddlebox. We got to see Young Wicked perform with a Magic Ninja jersey on. And this was the first time that people were starting to see what was really going on.
I remember seeing that picture of him wearing that M&E jersey. Yep. And I didn't think anything of it at first. At first, I was naive enough to think like, oh, look, they're like repping each other. They're friends. It went over my head what was really going on.
Yeah. No,
they're buddies.
Roxy, you were at that show too. Do you want to say anything about that? I mean, that was kind of weird. There was weird vibes going on that night.
Yeah, it was just kind of like confusion in the air. I don't know.
Yeah. So actually, that very next day, on January 1st, 2017, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but Light was actually announced to be signed. So I thought that was kind of strange. They literally just kind of switched places. I kind of feel like, I'm just speculating, but I think the reason they took the Young out of Young Light's name was because they didn't want it to be too much of like, oh, this is Young Wicked's replacement. So I kind of...
Maybe, but there's always like a tweak. It's like it's like for the first time they took these rappers and they didn't completely rebrand them with a completely new name, because like they did with Young Dirt. Look at Young Dirt became Boondocks, right? They rebranded him, but with Light and even Ouija Mac. Was Ouija Mac? I mean, he was on Swagtooth, but was he still Ouija Mac, or was he something else? Like, did he have a different fucking go by? What was his name?
You're gonna have to ask Chaos that one.
Yeah, I don't know, but look, there's something else that happened on New Year's Eve that night, or on the stroke of midnight, right when it became 2017.
Yeah.
Psychopathic. Debut or released or what do you call it? They launched. The word is launched. Psychopathic launched the Juggalo March website. JuggaloMarch.com website launched on New Year's Eve, and then Magic Ninja Entertainment announced Young Wicked as the new artist on the label on New Year's Eve, and it was like coinciding. Juggalos, lost their shit because I can see both sides of it. It's like New Year's Eve, we're making a huge announcement. New Year's Eve, we're launching our website. A lot of people jump to the assumption that, oh, it's sabotage, but M&E were all like, oh, what are you talking about? They were so coy. They were like, what? We didn't even know you were launching a website. We're just announcing our new fucking artist because it's the new year. Like, get out of here.
Right. And so now we're actually in the era we're talking about is where I start kind of getting some bad flavors in my mouth. This is kind of when shit started really getting ugly. I think about a month later, Insane Clown Posse did a tell-all interview with Scotty D on Fago Lovers, where they announced a lot of shit. I'm not going to go over everything, but essentially they announced that they were cutting ties with Twisted and with Young Wicked, and kind of just let us know.
That was just a heartfelt interview.
That was. And, I was just thinking about it the other day. I actually haven't watched that interview since it dropped. I'd actually kind of be curious to go watch it.
I did a live reaction to me watching it, and it brought tear to my eyes because they weren't talking as Jay and Shaggy in that interview. They were talking as Joe and
They were talking as Joe and Joey, absolutely. And I remember, Shaggy didn't say very much that whole interview, but he's sitting in there.
You could see the hurt in his face.
Frown. He just a fucking frown on his face the whole time, that entire interview. And, you know,
Oh, no, but that's his face paint. It's painted into a frown.
no, you know what I mean, though.
Oh, no, you're right. It was so heartfelt. It's
was
like
like-
sucking a dick. You're sucking a dick, right? You're sucking a dick. You're not gay, but you're sucking a dick. It's so
Yeah.
hard.
Man, that's got to be one of my favorite ICP interviews of all time. I'd love to go rewatch it.
Mhm.
You know,
Shout out to Scotty D of Fago Lovers for doing that interview. That like that has got to be, that ninja is blessed as fuck.
yeah, Scotty D, man. Yeah, I can't give enough shout outs to that ninja. So yeah, we're kind of
look. There's another aspect to that interview and this whole predicament. And maybe I'm jumping the gun because maybe you're about to go there right now. But that's when they announced that they're cutting ties and that they can't work with them anymore. And so that was the end. That was the kibosh of the Dark Lotus Tales from the Lotus Pod performance. So I mean, that Juggalo Day was right around the corner.
Yep.
You know, and so juggalos that were going down to Florida, down to America's dick, like we were talking about in the hangout earlier, you know, that Florida is America's cock, and you know that's where it was going to take place.
Totally. No, that's actually is what I was segmented towards.
Good segue then. Good segue.
But, yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit to that. I remember Violent J saying, like, look, you know, we could go do Dark Lotus, but we can't do Dark Lotus with tension, like that. You know, the Juggalos would notice that it isn't a genuine show. You know, I could tell in ICP's eyes they were definitely disappointed to not do Dark Lotus for that. So what ended up happening instead? Well, they did the Amazing Jekyll Brothers on one night and the Tunnel of Love on the other night. I didn't happen to make it to that J-Day either, but two totally dope shows in replacement. You know, you can't obviously replace Dark Lotus, but I think that's the best they could do at that point.
I know a lot of juggalos, you know, celebrated that event by dressing up like it was the Juggalo Prom, you know, in honor of the song Prom Queen that was on Tunnel of Love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you, man, sometimes I get FOMO like a motherfucker, fear of missing out. Like, I just want to be at every fucking show. And these Juggalo Day shows are always so fucking dope. And I've never been to one. Oh, I feel like such a loser. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, fucking, anyway. Yeah, so all the fucking bullshit kind of started spiraling downhill at that point. There was obviously a divide in the Juggalo community early 2017. That is when the shit started. Now, I'm not on here to dwell on that drama because we've lived with it for the past year and a half or two. So I don't want to, you know, sit and beat a dead horse down with all the drama that was going on. But we're all aware of it. And I think as a result, we all kind of consider 2017 as that year that was supposed to be the year of the Juggalo that kind of ended up turning out a little differently. Not bad.
I disagree, man, because it really was the year of the Juggalo. You know, in the face of adversity, we made the Juggalo March happen still. Like, even without the support of Twisted and all of Twisted's diehard serial killing Juggalo fans, we made the March memorable even without their help. I'm telling you, it was amazing. And I've been to like half the gatherings. The March was unfucking real. And we did it without any fucking Twisted serial killers that had no clown love. There were definitely fucking Twisted fans at the March. That was the difference. It seemed like you were either down with Twisted or ICP. But if you were down with Twisted and you hated ICP, you were like, fuck the March because we're on Twisted's dick. And that was the only thing that made me mad. How are you gonna fucking turn on ICP just because Twisted did? Yeah. You know, or how are you gonna turn on ICP just because they turned their backs on Twisted? You like Twisted that much? Well, you can have Twisted. I'm a Juggalo for life. That means I'm down with a clown for life. Like, let's not get it twisted. That's all I'm saying.
Right. So I think we've come to the point here now. TJ, I think you're actually the only person in this hangout that actually did attend the March. If you want to say a couple words about how that was for you and how that, you know, impacted you or whatever.
Yeah, I can tell you, man. like on some real shit. I broke up with my girlfriend the night before the march.
Oh shit!
It had nothing to, I mean, it was rough, man. Like I had a fight. We broke up. I went to the march and I partied like it was 1999. Like we all got together in the hotel. You know, we rendezvoused. When I showed up in my hotel room, you know the YouTube media station Vice.
Yeah.
They were in my hotel room and they were filming an interview with like Mac and Hose and this other juggalo, and I walked in on it, and the producer like scrambled to fucking make me sign a waiver, and they didn't have any microphones for me, so I just ended up like standing there in the background. But none of that shit ever aired. Like I don't know where that footage went. I think the guy who like was in charge of that, he actually got fired like before it ever came to fruition.
The Vice dude?
What's that?
The Vice guy?
Yeah, the guy who was writing the article or in charge of that project, he was let go. And he spoke at the march too. But the march was amazing. And so we woke up the next morning. I had brought down like several poster boards and paint and markers and pencil rulers. And so I was whipping up signs in the morning, right before we went down to the National Mall, and I remember people are in and out of the room and distracting me, and I'm like, shut up, I'm focused right now, I'm making signs, and there's pictures all over Carnival Spirits Facebook page where I actually have Mac and Hose helping me, because I'm like, hold the signs up so I can just take pictures of all the signs so I can remember what all the signs I made are, because I just handed signs out to everybody. So by the time the march started, I had no signs. All my signs were fucking handed out. And I made a sign for CPN that said, that
FBI listens to Nickelback.
FBI listens to Nickelback.
So that was you who made
the world.
I made the sign for him and I gave it to him. We walked out of the hotel. I don't know. I think we took a selfie with ourselves. We walked down the street. We didn't even make it like fucking 5 feet. And we stopped, and some juggalette, some fresh ass ninjette bought us ice cream. She bought us ice cream from an ice cream stand. And she's like, everybody pick what you want. I think I took like a Ninja Turtle ice cream cone, or you know, like a and so we're getting our ice cream, and then there was this woman that was like, oh, can I take a picture of you and your sign? This woman was talking to CPN, and I saw him standing there holding the sign, and I was like, oh hell no, I want to be in this picture. I made that sign. So I literally just like jumped in the picture at the last second, and I was in the picture. Turns out that woman worked for the news. That picture went viral on Twitter. And
it was everywhere.
And then Samantha Bee played it on full frontal, and it was on national television like later.
Oh, hell
yeah. and so, of course, all our haters tried to fucking use it against me that I misspelled Nickelback. Like I reversed the L and the E, so it was like Nickelback.
How could you?
Yeah, and I'm like, seriously, like, who gives a fuck? It's Nickelback. Fucking A. I'm a juggalo. I should misspell it.
Yeah, if you spell Nickelback right, then we'll be concerned about you.
Exactly. That was our retort. But that was a really fucking fun moment, and it was literally before anything even started. Like, we were just walking out of the hotel, and we thought we were only walking like 2 blocks. It ended up being like fucking 2 miles. We had to walk 2 miles.
I've been to the National Mall or whatever, but not for the march. And yeah, I've definitely walked up and down. That's a long stretch, man.
No. The long stretch of the National Mall is nothing. We were 2 miles away from the National Mall. Our hotel was 2 blocks away.
Gotcha.
So needless to say, we Ubered our way back to the hotel after the march. We partied all night in the courtyard. The Vice people came and partied. They actually came with their cameras, and they were like, what do you guys, we were all chilling, lamping, eating pizza, drinking, smoking. They were like, what are you guys doing? Like where's the party? They wanted to see us get ruckus. They were like, why aren't you guys like fucking wiling out and you know, and fucking, I don't know, like sucking titties and doing keg stands and stuff. And we're like, we don't know. We just had the most amazing day of our lives. Now we're just fucking enjoying each other's company. they actually wanted to like capture footage of us like fucking shit up or something. And we're like, I don't think you understand. We're family. We're not like fucking Hell's Angels here.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like literally, we're here to protest the stigma of being like Hell's Angels, for fuck's sake.
So can I ask you, Beastmaster, real quick, do you have like one highlight that totally sticks out for the march that just is like, that was the best part?
The best part? There is, I don't know, man, because it was like, it was too short, you know. There wasn't even, it just went by so fast, and there was never a dull moment. I know that I tried to like take footage. I tried to take pictures. I did enjoy some of the concerts and the speeches, but not everything. It was really hard, man. And I think maybe, all right, I think I can tell you one of my favorite parts was, you know, ICP performing, you know, the actual performance, and they actually fucking throwed Fago. And you know what I mean?
National Mall, man, like the memorial behind and everything.
Yeah, if you go to my YouTube channel, Beastmaster was here. I filmed the entire set, and you know, when I do that, I kind of compromise my fun.
Exactly.
Sit there and the camera.
Go.
But I love doing it, man. Like, it's kind of like a passion of mine. I like bootlegging shows. I like capturing the moment. And I remember standing there filming it, and I was just thinking, like, this may be the best video I ever filmed in my entire life. And, you know, and every ICP show is the best show I've ever seen in my life. They never fucking let me down. So it's really hard to say that that wasn't the best moment. Seeing them fucking rock that stage in front of the Lincoln Memorial was fucking
so epic. I wish I could have been there, man. I wish I could have been there. Yo, Scottish Misfit in the motherfucking house. What's going on, my dude?
Not much. Not much.
What up, man? How you doing, Josh?
Thanks for joining the stream, man. So basically, what we're doing, we're just reviewing the Marvelous Missing Link era. We're kind of in mid 2017 right now for the March. So if there's anything you want to do,
yeah, I really wish I could have gone to a March, but I could have afforded my book ass.
Yeah, same, man, same. I think TJ's the only one in the hangout that went. I know that we have some ninjas in the chat that went too. I definitely would have been there. And I got to say, the March was one of those things that I think a lot of ninjas were thinking, this is going to go really bad. This is going to, you know, the cops are going to come. There's going to be riots. And what happened, TJ?
Nothing. It was all hype, dude. It was really fucking chill. In fact, you know, it was really funny because you walk around before the concerts or, you know, during the day, and you just look around you, and you saw nothing but juggalos and media. And like every fucking buddy was getting interviewed. Everybody's fucking getting sound bites. Everybody's taking notes. You know what I mean? Mankinis doing cameos everywhere. Like, it was just fucking, it was like we were in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird, man.
The whole world was looking at you.
Yeah. Like, we went there to change hearts and minds, and fucking we did it. And we did it with class. So everybody was worried that we were going to fuck it up. Or everybody, not everybody, but there was a lot of chatter like, oh, how are you going to fucking talk about your butthole when we're trying to fucking fight the good fight? I'm like, shut the fuck up. What are we going to change who we are? We're fucking we're out of line. We're juggalos, but we're not gangs, you know? Like,
yeah. A friend of mine, he also was a juggler who thought the whole theme was right in Betty.
I felt like we really fucking, I don't know, made an impact that was necessary. It wasn't supposed to like get us off the gang list.
Oh no.
It was supposed. It was like a PSA. Like, wake the fuck up. If you guys allow this to happen to us, this could happen to anybody.
Oh yeah,
anybody.
I think it really helped plant a seed, kind of, to make more of these outsiders realize
self-aware.
That was kind of the main goal, I think. I don't think it was to just, oh, we got to end the gang list. It's just, look, plant the seeds in all these people's minds that juggalos really aren't that bad of motherfuckers.
It was a stunt, a publicity stunt to scream to the mountaintops that there's injustice happening, and that's all you can do. Yeah. And it was like the whole point was to make sure that everybody heard our plight. And that's it. Now it's up to you to decide, are you a fucking Nazi or do you believe in freedom? It's that simple, you know?
Right.
Or a fucking communist.
Oh, yeah.
And I also wanted to mention, too, about the march this was actually Ouija Mac's first official live performance with Psychopathic Records. He was signed to the label, I think, on September 6th, and the march was like 10 days later, where he performed his very first live debut for the Juggalos.
Nice.
Leading up to the march, I wanted to see him perform, and then when it actually happened, I was distracted and talking to other people and walking around the fucking lake, and then I realized, oh shit, I missed Ouija Mac. Whatever. He just started. It's not like what are the chances of him leaving before I get to see him again, like Blase?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and speaking of Blase, I skipped over that. She was actually. We found out that she was actually not on the hatchet anymore in early February of 2017.
Yeah.
Who's that for, though?
I think she got a raw deal.
You think she got a raw deal, Josh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe she got raw dogged.
And don't forget the 20th anniversary of the Great Malenko came out.
Yep. Oh, Don Chaos, you're jumping the gun, homie. I'm almost there. I'm almost there, my friend.
Yeah. Like I said, I saw
that I'm gonna cover.
Yeah.
No, I would love for you to talk about that, dude. Definitely. Just before that, I wanted to go a little bit into the ciphers that came out in 2017. At the beginning of the year, we had the "I'm Not a Gang" cipher that featured Blase Rose, Anybody Killa, Big Hoodoo, ICP, DJ Clay, I think, and Light. And then later at the end of the year, we had the Juggalo Love Cipher. It was kind of a surprise show for Juggalos in Ohio. They didn't realize they were going to be doing a video shoot there. It turns out a lot of the homies actually ended up in that video. I think Snaps is one of them. And yeah, so what do you guys think about those ciphers that came out?
Love the begin one. Loved but I love both, but did like Ouija's voice.
Yeah, so this was kind of the first time that people really got to see Ouija's potential. I think a lot of people were blown away by his verse on the Juggalo Love Cipher. What do you guys?
I love his verse.
Yeah, he definitely came out swinging. Like, no pun intended, because they had that, like, you know, that sparring boxing ring with theme. But he came out. And he kind of like people were underestimating him from the jump. At least some people were. But, you know, underground heads might have already known who Swagtooth was. Swagtooth had already worked with some Psychopathic alumni. You know, they had tracks with Twisted and Blaze and stuff on previous albums. But, you know, they broke up. It was, I mean, no one ever really talks about it, but Swagtooth, I guess, was supposed to be the new group on Psychopathic. And then Choir Boy Dank was the other guy, and he ended up getting left behind, and Ouija Mac went forward as a solo artist, and, you know, there was some bad blood. There was some salt in the wound. So I don't know the story. I don't know the real deal, but I do know that Choir Boy Dank had, you know, made some comments or whatever, you know, expressing his frustration or anger or what have you, and, you know, and that shit gets all swept under the rug because I don't know. I guess you know, I don't know what the deal is, but I haven't really heard any new music from him since this happened. It's almost as if it wasn't meant to be. Like I said before, everything happens for a reason. Maybe no good reason, but there's definitely a reason.
I hear you, man. I just realized I kind of briefly skipped over the notorious Oklahoma City gathering that happened in 2017.
That's all right. That was a forgettable gathering, I hear tell.
Yeah, fuck that.
I wasn't there. I don't know if any of you guys were there, so I don't really have anything to say about it.
I like the way Murder Mayhem show. You know that ninja.
Yeah, totally.
When he took part in our Juggalo takeover and did a little podcast with Beneath the Dirt, he mentioned that he's actually from Oklahoma, and so ever since that gathering, all he hears is "fuck Oklahoma." And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to deal with fuck Oklahoma for the rest of my life," and that's like his hometown.
Yeah, poor guy.
That sucks. I mean,
yeah, I guess we can just kind of skip over the gathering in 2017, unless you guys have anything to say about that.
Nope.
Yeah, wasn't there. Don't care.
Yeah, me either.
But what tour ended up happening after the march?
So I'm sure you're just jumping in your britches to talk about the 20th anniversary Malenko Chaos. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take off with that.
Well, 2017 was a good year because finally, your boy finally got to meet Jay and Shaggy in person. Fuck.
Oh, you did VIP for that one, huh?
Yes, and that was my late birthday present for myself. And that I remember telling everyone in Carnival Spirits, I'm like, okay, y'all, this is 2017. If we're all going to do VIP, we should do it in 2017. Now I know TJ, that was his first time doing it.
Yeah, my first VIP. So that means we both got that autographed fucking wall blanket of the Great Malenko. That what do you call those flags? You know, the Great Malenko flag.
Poster.
Yeah, I love that thing. It's in my bedroom. I fucking love it.
And yeah, actually, this is before me and Roxy Riddlebox actually met Don Chaos. But it turned out we were actually all in the same building that night. Me, Roxy Riddlebox, and Don Chaos, we were all in the Boulder Theater. Roxy, if you're still there and listening, you want to talk a little bit about that show at our home venue? We grew up in Boulder, so the Boulder Theater is like our home venue. We never got to see ICP there. So this was quite a special show for us as well.
Well, if
yeah, it was on our stomping grounds, man.
Nice.
Boulder.
Yeah, that was
talk
awesome.
about that one a little bit, Rox?
You guys are from Boulder?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Boulder.
Do you guys know John Benet Ramsey?
Oh yeah, well and personally.
All right, that's a whole nother podcast.
That's for another time.
So Roxy, how was the 20th anniversary Malenko in our stomping grounds?
That was magical as fuck, and one of our childhood homies got to open up for ICP as well, which was pretty fucking awesome.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was our homie who now goes by what is it, Toon Chaos or something like that.
Yeah. But that's not
with
that's like my
that was so that was cool seeing him open up for ICP and just seeing them on our stomping grounds where I used to fucking walk around and get all fucked up all the time. It was just fucking
yeah. It was definitely crazy because ICP, I don't think they had played in Boulder since the very early days, and so that was the first time they played in Boulder. I remember the Boulder Theater came out with an article the very next day saying how pissed off they were about all the Faygo and it was sticking. And now they had to hire all kinds of cleaning crews. It's like, come on, don't you guys realize that's what you're signing up for when you book the Insane Clown Posse? And there goes Josh.
I mean, the event staff at the Boulder Theater was polite. They were getting live with us too. So I don't know.
But I think it's more the management that was hella pissed.
Yeah, the rest of the staff was mad chill and stuff.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I think about go over that enough. I just wanted to mention also the exclusive 20th anniversary Malenko. The Gold Malenko came out that included a new single. I don't think it's ever been heard before. Was Black Blizzard.
Love that track.
That was actually one of my favorite songs off of that shit. I love that track. And shout out to Scotty Balls for making a really sick animation to that song.
I got something to say about Black Blizzard.
Go ahead.
They told us that they recorded that song. Like that's not a song that comes from the era, but that's a new song they made. And I believe that it features Cheap Trick. So I don't know if that means it's like on guitar or the singing in the hook or something, but Cheap Trick, for fuck's sake. Like, I want you to want me. Like that Cheap Trick. Like, it's just crazy the collabs that ICP pulls out of their ass sometimes.
But do you like that song, though?
I love that song. That song is fucking dope.
Black Lizard was the shit, yeah. And I remember they came out with a couple other remixes for like Down with the Clown, I think, and then the Nedden Game, I think, also had a remix. And then it came to
but those were all old. Those I had heard those before. You know,
Yeah.
most of them.
So
There
that
was a whole lot on that bonus disc that I hadn't already heard, which doesn't surprise me because that I was a full-fledged juggalo in that era, so I was already like looking for all the alternate versions of songs, and you know they had something on there was like a medley that they didn't even make. They got that off a radio station, you know, that somebody else was, you know, like a party mix or some shit. The Great Malenko was a hell of an era. It was a hell of an era, you know. That was kind of like I mean, I know that the Riddle Box was their breakthrough, but the Malenko was the fucking solidified, like, you can't fuck with us. We're a fucking problem, you know, album. Like, we are a problem.
That's how I found out about him, so that's why it was
forced to be reckoned with, you know. Violent J cut his fucking dreadlocks off. That's how much of a problem they were.
And that's a whole nother podcast altogether, my friend.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm going to move on a little bit now past kind of moving into early 2018, end of 2017. So at Hallowicked of 2017, we officially got the image and the name for Fearless Fred Fury. Now, as for me, I remember watching that. I woke up the first minute the next morning trying to look at clips of that. And I remember the image I fell in love with. I loved the image, everything about it. The name took me probably, I got to be honest, a good month or so to digest the name. What do you guys think?
It's hard because you can only hear it in your mind's ear. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you hear yourself saying it, but it doesn't really mean shit until you hear it in context of why they named it. Like what's the song that you know, or what's the, like, when you think of Bang Pow Boom, you remember when Bang Pow Boom came out? Just the words Bang Pow Boom.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Like, weird, yeah.
Like that's such a weird name. Like, it doesn't make sense until you actually hear the album, read the liner notes, or get the explanation. Same thing with the Mighty Death Pop. Mighty Death Pop? What the fuck does that mean? Like, we're always fucking clueless until we hear the album. Right now, we just don't fucking know. I mean, we do know, but when that just dropped in our lap, we're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. And now I got to be honest, I love the name Fred Fury.
Yeah.
It sticks, you know. At first, I was like, what the fuck is this? But you're right, TJ. That kind of happens with all of them. And to go with the Bang Pow Boom thing, the only difference there was, like, remember, we didn't originally think it was going to be a Joker card. It was just supposed to be another album. And then later was revealed to be the first of a new deck.
Yeah, they didn't tell us. There's no rhyme or reason or something.
And, Juggalo John, yes, we did mention the gold Riddle Box. We talked about the 20th anniversary of the Riddle Box as well. So, yes, that was fucking discussed previously. 20 and 17, thanks for joining, man. It's an honor to have you up in here.
Hell yeah. What's up, guys?
So, anyway, we're kind of getting into now the start of 2018. We all learned Fearless Fred Fury, the name and the image. What happened after that?
Oh, shit. Hold on. I got to say one thing. Because John's asking me if I got body parts in these trash bags behind me. And I got no comment. But I do want to say that when they revealed Fred Fury's name at Hallowicked that year, they had fucking bodies wrapped up in plastic hanging from the rafters. You remember that? And it was like they were in the way. So all the images of Fred Fury that you saw.
Yeah, there's like bodies.
Yeah, they had body bags in front of them, and that actually threw me off. I'm like, what the fuck is that hanging? Looks like a bunch of cocks hanging from the ceiling. Get out of the way. I'm trying to look at the Joker's card. Like,
right? Yeah, get the fuck out of my way. The next thing I wanted to talk about, Roxy, I hope you're still there because this definitely includes you, was mine and Roxy Riddlebox's very first Juggalo weekend in Las Vegas.
Oh, shit. You guys went to Vegas? How was that?
That was it was amazing. Heckles and Macabre. And I remember everybody looking at it and being like, Heckles and Macabre. Well, just a little tidbit of information, y'all. If you go ahead and listen to the very first track of Ringmaster, the Wax Museum, it's you know, in the instrumentals with all the Mikey Clark shit. Heckles and Macabre, Heckles and Macabre, Heckles and Macabre. That's the only way I knew that's how it was pronounced.
You know, I'll give you some more info on that.
Go ahead.
If you ever find yourself a copy of Ringmaster on cassette, you know how, well, if you ever used to listen to cassette tapes, if you know your grandfather used to listen to cassette tapes if you're a kid, if you don't know what cassette tapes are, never mind, I'm kidding. All right. But most cassette tapes have two sides, A and B, right? Well, on the Ringmaster, one side said Heckles and the other side said Macabre.
Yep.
Yeah.
Juggalo John's actually explaining that in the chat. Shout out.
Yeah, I wasn't looking. Okay, there you go. Well, it was dope, man. Like as soon as I saw Heckles and Macabre, I was like, yeah, boy, I like that. That's
totally. And they actually did some Ringmaster songs. But Roxy, I want you to actually, I'm gonna give you the lead to talk about your experience with Juggalo Day weekend in Las Vegas.
Oh man, that was epic. First of all, I just have to say it was at a pretty fresh venue, and I really dug that it was outside and the weather was really, really nice for a concert out there, and it was just super fresh. And that actually was an epic weekend. We got to get on stage with Green Jelly and fucking jump in the mosh pit.
Yeah.
And I actually scored the fucking Carnival of Carnage puppet mask. That was pretty sick.
Wow. Nice.
That was a pretty epic, wild night. That was actually the first night that I met CPN in person, too. And first thing I said to him, because he had the Riddle Box mask, I was like, hey, man, that was my first choice. And he's like, oh, cool.
That was funny as fuck.
I met CPN in person, so that was pretty funny.
What you should have said to him is, I'm gonna need you to give up that mask, homie.
I'm gonna have
to come out that mask, fam.
Yeah. Sorry. You have to come out that mask,
fam.
You're gonna have to run that mask, fam.
Run that shit.
So
no, that was fun though, man. That was an epic ass weekend, and
yo, those masks were at the Gathering. That was the first time I ever saw Green Jelly. Was at the Gathering 17.
Yeah.
And, holy shit, was that a fun fucking set.
That was one of the highlights of that Gathering.
No doubt that I'm very glad that they I don't know, had a good first impression. They invited them to come to another event, Juggalo weekend. I want to see more Green Jelly at Juggalo shows.
They're totally.
Yes, I agree. The lead singer is fucking awesome. He's great with interacting with the Juggalos, and he fucking loves it, and they love him. And I really love Green Jelly and their whole vibe.
Green Jelly, it's not just a show you go watch; it's a show you go participate in.
He's the type of dude that he acts like as if he's Barney. He's like, okay, kids. He makes you all sit down and cross your legs. Story, and then he makes you get up and mosh pit. It's really fun. It's an interactive show. Like Manspeaker is his name. He's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, Manspeaker, right. So, Roxy, did you have any highlights from Juggalo Day? I remember we got Kung Fu Vampire to actually come back to do his original vampire gimmick. That was the first time he did it in
8 years.
8 years. So that was
he brought it back.
An honor to see Kung Fu Vampire do the whole gimmick. Do you have any other highlights from other performances besides ICP that you really liked?
Yeah, that was actually my first time seeing the Flatliners as well, and they actually impressed me quite a bit more than I had expected them to. So Flatliners killed it too that weekend.
I've seen the Flatliners.
They're dope, man. It was the first time I saw them as well. I ended up catching like a Jason mask from one of them. I got it hung up on my wall. Another highlight was Ritz. Ritz fucking killed that set.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ritz is a chopper, man. He's good.
Ritz is amazing. And, you know, to credit Roxy, actually, a few years ago, I really wasn't into Ritz, but she kind of got me more into him, and now I realized how much I was sleeping on him. Ritz is a very talented artist. Anything else about Juggalo weekend you wanted to talk about at all, Roxy?
That's pretty much it. You know, I got a stoner memory, but I'll think of something later, I'm sure.
I have something to touch on.
Go ahead.
What's up, Cass?
Basically, and what started out 2018, a good year for us for Carnival Spirits, ICP got on their social media and gave us and your boy Carnival Spirits a shout out along with the rest of the Juggalo YouTube community. We all got our names by name, which was sick.
Oh, you're right, man. That's right. On their Facebook page, they literally
all over their social medias.
It was YouTubers. They listed out a whole bunch of us
by name too, and you could tell it was by Violent J because it said VJ at the end.
I forgot about that.
I remember we all shit ourselves. We were like, "No fucking way!" They mentioned us all by name.
Now you say that you knew it was Violent J, but we also know that KG Kevin Gill was running their social media at the time. So, you know, it's speculation that it was Violent J. It could have been KG, but still, it was ICP's official Facebook.
Well, not just their Facebook, their Instagram, their Twitter, everywhere.
Yeah, you're right. It was on their Instagram. Fuck. That was awesome. I felt like $1 million when I saw that shit.
Yeah, we all did.
Mm-hmm. Not only did they shout us out, but you know, that year Scotty Two Balls got a number of his animations shared by ICP, and I'm just saying, like, I got the behind the scenes scoop, like. You know, he made a few animations for them exclusively that they debuted on their social media. You know, as did 20 and 17. You know, they're working with Fago Lovers right now, and Scotty's still hooking them up with animations. If you're checking out on Fago Lovers the Generation Twisted documentary that they're doing, you know, right now they got a new one out. It's called The Green Mirror, and it's the new edition of their segments. And you know, I think around like the 30-minute mark or whatever, there's an animation for the Green Book that was done by Carnival Spirits' very own Scotty Two Balls. And yeah, dude, it's fucking awesome. I love that the guy that created Carnival Spirits is actually hooking up the entire Juggalo family with his freshness. Like, how dope is that?
Brooklyn, what the fuck is happening?
Yo, what's good?
What's up, Deadhead?
Yeah, dead air.
It's not really him. It's just a picture.
It's not really you. It's just a picture.
Let me find out. That Brooklyn Menace just kind of mended into his green screen, and now he's just a part of that world.
That's like when you make a face and someone slaps you on the back and you're stuck with that face forever. It's like, don't do this.
Danny, it's real simple. It's called taking the easy way out.
So yeah, man, I'm actually about to start getting into the fun part here. We're moving past, you know, we're getting past Juggalo Day weekend and moving into the epic DCG Con that happened in Denver, Colorado this year. And I know all you guys have stuff to talk about with that.
We were all there.
And in fact, it was the first time I got to meet Don Chaos in person. It was the first time I got to meet you, Beastmaster, in person. Brooklyn Menace, it was the first time I got to meet you in person.
I'll tell you this, Carnival Spirits was rolling deep. I think we had like 7 or 8 crew members there. We had custom T-shirts made with our names on the back. Thank you to Brooklyn Menace for helping us do that. And
we were NWA style.
Yeah, you know, I mean, there were some other entities at DCG Con that were very recognizable, you know, like the likes of Fago Lovers or the Reno Riders, you know, stuff like that.
Juggalo Yacht Club.
Yeah, the Juggalo Yacht Club. But I feel like Carnival Spirits actually, you know, we held our own. We kind of came out of nowhere and had a presence that, I mean, was undeniable, and it was fucking awesome. Like, DCG Con was one of the highlights of last year for me personally.
Same here.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I really did appreciate, you know, just how we overcame the obstacles that we were faced with. And I don't know if you want to go into the details, but I'm just saying that we made that shit fucking like a mini gathering, even when they shut it down halfway through.
We still had fun.
We didn't just have fun. We fucking ran the hotel. We ran it all weekends. We took over the hotel. It was fucking
literally did. That was a Juggalo takeover right there.
that was the first Juggalo takeover.
First actual Juggalo takeover.
But you know, I thought the whole time it was kind of odd. Like, okay, they shut down the convention hall and all that, but guess what? Now it's kind of worse for everybody at the hotel because now there's a bunch of juggalos in the lobby. So sorry, got to deal with it now.
It was so stupid. Like, why shutting down the convention but letting us all stay there? I mean, it's like they legally couldn't kick us out. We were guests of their hotel.
Exactly.
But they were like, no, but we're going to take away the reason you came here. So you just, and then they had no idea that we're like, we don't even need the reason we came here. We can fucking entertain ourselves. So you're stuck.
The ICP show got moved down to the Roxy thanks to Scum. Thank you, Scum, for that again.
Yes, major thanks to Scum from LSP. For y'all that don't know, Scum actually owns the Roxy Theater in Denver. Honestly, if there had been another show going on that night that was already booked, we might have all got the bone and not have gotten an ICP show.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say that it may not have been like, you know, like a coincidence that I'm sorry. It was all I'm saying is that if he booked a show that night, he would have been competing with fucking ICP right down the street. So it would have been stupid if he booked a show that night. You know what I mean? Like,
where would have ICP had played though?
Yeah, there was some parts of the day where I just thought that all the concerts were just going to be canceled.
Right. No, but
I definitely thought Scum kind of wanted to be at DCG Con to enjoy it himself. So
like he did perform DCG Con. He performed. He opened up for Shaggy. He was
actually walking around the convention too,
right.
Just with everyone.
Dude, I saw him picking his nose, and then he picked his butt, and then he put it in his mouth. I'm just kidding.
Roxy Riddlebox, she brought 17 joints to the ICP or to the DCG Con and smoked the fuck out of the Carnival Spirits, man. It was really cool getting to see how you guys get stoned on this Colorado weed out here.
Yo, 20 and 17 just reminded us of something.
Oh, yeah, the ESA episode.
Every Saturday afternoon live stream we did from the lobby of the hotel.
Literally Jedi Council video. We set it up like that.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking epic. And, you know, Brooklyn Menace, he actually brought down like the equivalent of like the Howard Stern show's equipment to
Yeah, I set up that show.
Dude, that fucking setup was professional.
But then we did that live stream.
I was actually trying to get them all on earlier, but you were playing Juggalos against Sanity, and I think we definitely missed a visit from KG and a few other people. I think if we started a little earlier, we might have got a few more people on there. But that was an epic stream, and I literally just went back and watched all that stuff the other night.
I haven't watched that in a long. Actually, I've never watched the whole thing because I was there for half of it, and I wasn't even there for the whole thing. I walked away and you know, hung out with other people while the live stream was happening. It was just overall like the fucking freshest time of my life almost.
I forget we did that stream before the actual day of the con in Brooklyn's like room, but it looked like he was setting up a porn.
Well,
yeah, my room looked like a fucking film set.
No, it only looked that way because there was a lot of cum stains on the sofa, which Brooklyn denies that he put there before we all showed up.
No, because I was shooting a porn once all you left.
Who were you with?
All that screaming was.
And I got to admit, me and Roxy Riddlebox, we only live about 30 minutes. We did only live about 30 minutes away from DCG Con, so we fucking left. But I kind of wish we had just gotten a hotel there and just kicked it with everybody.
It was cheap.
Yeah, it was surreal, man. Like they didn't care if we you know, hung out outside the hotel in the front. Like everybody was token because it's weed legal Colorado, and you know, for me in Massachusetts, you know, we legalized it, but the laws had not yet gone into effect. So there's only one fucking store that sells recreational marijuana, and it's like 4 hours away from me. So I was like excited to go to a dispensary. smoke weed legally. You know, really, it was just something that was out of a dream. Like I'm like, so I never would have thought that I'd be, you know, living this life, my best fucking life ever. You know, with the Juggalo family, fucking crazy.
And I took you in Brooklyn to Sonic for the first time.
Was that one of the best moments of your life, Brooklyn, eating at Sonic?
I remember taking you guys.
And I took
there.
Beastmaster to Chick-fil-A for the first time.
And I also ate at what was it, A&W?
A&W, that's where we met you guys at.
Yeah, I was there for the first time. I was popping my cherry, and that's when we met.
He was all like, "I've heard of A&W, the root beer, but I didn't know there was a restaurant."
well, I mean, dude, like, is there a Faygo restaurant? I've heard of the fucking root beer, but I didn't think there was a restaurant. Like, where's
now
the
there
Faygo
will be
restaurant?
Now we
all went
Faygo hot dog restaurant.
I walked into the A&W and patrons were taking pictures with Sister Hatchet in there.
Of course. Oh, can I just say one other thing that, you know, because of the fact of the convention being shut down, a lot of the people that were working the convention had a lot of free time on their hands. So we were able to hang out with some Juggalo icons that we probably would not have been able to hang out with as much, such as Vinny the ICP Kid. And, you know, that dude is like on some other shit, like one of the fucking coolest motherfuckers you'll ever meet. He's so down to earth, so generous, so fucking warm and just kind-hearted, and like the most dedicated fucking Juggalo I've ever met. You know, he's the ICP Kid. He's from Shockumentary. We're talking to him for hours. Like, and it's not even like we were hound dogging him. We fucking kicked it like donkeys and became BFFs. It was fucking crazy.
Hey, Roxy Riddlebox, do you want to share your little story about meeting Vinny the ICP Kid for the first time?
Yeah, I'll second everything Beastmaster just said. Like, he's the ninja. He's cool as fuck.
Yeah, man. He just made everybody feel like he wasn't just fucking putting up with you. You know what I mean? Like he really made it feel like you were special when he was talking to you. I feel like weird talking about him behind his back because I feel like he's a good friend of mine. You know what I mean? I wish I could see him again because he's just the coolest motherfucker ever.
Oh, you'll see him again.
Right? Yeah, I was talking to him. Actually, I was outside by myself for a little while, and he ended up approaching me and just like, we ended up just talking and shit. And I was like, holy shit, fucking Vinny, this is Vinny the ICP Kid. Like, this shit is dope. And we were just fucking talking like homies. And, you know, a couple of people walked up to, you know, chat with him and meet him and shit and say what up. And this was about an hour, maybe 2 hours before the con got shut down. But Vinny, like, looks at me and he goes, Roxy. And he points across the fucking parking lot, probably like, you know, half a football field away or something. And he points at this motherfucker all suited up and fucking tied it up and had like a briefcase and shit. And he's like, dude, Roxy, that dude's sketch. Like, we got to keep an eye on each other, bro. Like, we got to have each other's backs. Us Juggalos got to look out for each other because that dude is sketch, dude. And like literally an hour or two later, boom, the con gets shut the fuck down. Like, that had to be either owner or like really high up management or some shit like that.
Vinny's spidey senses were tingling. He knew something was up.
Yeah, for sure.
He had like super ninja intuition or some shit.
Right? It was a trip, man. And then we talked about it at the gathering too. I ran into him at the gathering after that. And he reminded me of that shit. He's like, oh, remember that sketchy dude at the gathering? Like, what the fuck was that shit? Roxy? I was like, holy shit.
I saw him at the gathering and I saw him at Hallowicked, and every time I see him, it's like warm welcomes and fight. Just like with every other fucking Juggalo I meet, just ass motherfuckers, man. He just happens to be the OG. That's all.
Right. No exception though. That's the fucking ninja right there. That's the home.
And the last thing I'll say about it is, you know, we had our custom made Carnival Spirits t-shirts and stuff. And I had like a couple of different variations of the t-shirts. And, you know, right now we're looking at it, you know, Roxy Riddlebox, your avatar, cause we can't see you, but that's the Carnival Spirits, you know, YouTube channel, avatar. That right there is a T-shirt that we had made, and I totally fucking gave the T-shirt off my back to Vinny, the ICP kid, and he told me that he put it in his personal collection. He has a closet or a vault, he calls it, or I think it's called like a garden or a vault or something. And so he's actually got a Carnival Spirits T-shirt in his official Juggalo stash, which is there for life, that he'll never sell. You know what I mean? And that right there is like the biggest honor that I could ever fucking ask for in my life. That Vinny the ICP kid has a Carnival Spirits T-shirt in his permanent stash that he cherishes, and he was wearing that shit on Sunday, the last day of the fucking con. I was like, what the fuck?
You know what else was a highlight? When me, CPN, Crazy, Shanzi, Church, and Sid, all of us were singing Bohemian Rhapsody word for word, and still, why the hell didn't anyone record that shit?
Yeah, it wasn't just you. There was like fucking 17 other ninjas singing along with you too. It was pretty cool.
Hell, you even came in and got involved too.
Yeah, but I didn't join the singing.
I wish I had video footage. Man, that would be dope if somebody had fucking filmed.
I wish I had pics.
Right? That's
Don't
what I'm
forget
saying.
the Hatchet did.
If I had video footage.
I wish I had video footage.
I threw a link in the chat to the Carnival Spirits shirt store.
Oh yeah, if you guys want to check out the Carnival Spirit shirts, Brooklyn Menace put it in the chat. Hell yeah!
And there's about 5 new designs up there.
But there's also that link is always in Carnival Spirits YouTube videos description every day, every video. So you can always find that shit.
You want to tell them the story of how we got rudely awakened, TJ, when we both went to sleep?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I do remember when we woke up to that letter that had Jump Steady's phone number on it. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about the first night when we were like after doing the stream with you, Crazy. And
no!
And we're like, okay,
no.
Crash.
So the night before the con, we were up late. We were live streaming from Brooklyn's room. I probably drank like half of Brooklyn's beers, and then we finally go to bed. And like an hour later, all of a sudden, we get bombarded by CPN, Captain Flannel, Sister Hatchet. Fucking like a dozen ninjas all come into the room, and I'm like, I'm shit-faced, and I just fell asleep, and I'm just like, oh, it's so good to see you guys. Get the fuck out. I just need to sleep.
We're all like, oh my god, and then we're just giving everyone hugs.
Yeah, no, that was cool, but it was the wrong time, man. But everyone was just happy to see each other, so I understand.
Of course, I brought literally a whole suitcase full of Faygo, and TJ didn't know this. He's like, what's that other suitcase for? And I open it, and he's like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, you hooked it up, man. You literally brought a suitcase full of Faygos that lasted us the whole weekend. That was dope.
Brooklyn Menace was hooked on those Faygos and PBRs, man.
He was getting a sugar high.
He was getting all sugar high and PBR high.
You were, though. You like pounded a Faygo, and then you pounded a beer, and then you went back to Faygo again.
Like, where the fuck is those Faygos at?
I realize that's a bad mix.
Yeah, well, live and learn. Live and learn.
And now that Captain Flannel is in the chat, we're talking about DCG Con. I will talk about how we did get to witness a gladiator fight between Brooklyn Menace and Captain Flannel.
In person, live and in person.
So who won that?
For that, Brooklyn?
Oh, me, hands down.
What you mean? You won that fight with your hands down, or what were you doing? Headbutting? Did you pull a fucking Mike Tyson and bite his ear off? What the fuck?
He cheated to win.
I see.
I don't remember what happened. I had 17 doinks that weekend. So.
Yeah, Roxy was chilling on cloud 17 pretty much that whole time.
All I know is that I almost didn't even get to have my first dispensary experience, but thanks to Captain Flannel, I did. Like, big ups to you, man, for actually bringing me to a dispensary. We went to a place called Sweet Leaf, and I bought myself some weed, some edibles. I had way too much. On the last day of the con, I was literally rolling up all my weed and trying to give it away. I'm walking around all the ninjas in the fucking parking lot, and And like, so I have like 3 joints I'm trying to give away. I go up to a bunch of ninjas. It's like Cherry Bomb and a bunch of other people, and they're already smoking joints, and they're all set. And they actually gave me their weed. So I left CPN and my homies. I go over. I'm trying to get rid of 3 joints. I come back with 5 joints. They're like, "What are you doing? Like, trying to get rid of it, you just came back with like twice as much." Like I know this is backfiring on me. But then I found a couple ninjas that actually were hurting and needed, you know, to get smoked up. And I was able to pawn, because I'm not bringing weed back to fucking Massachusetts.
Yeah, you gotta smoke it all out before you leave.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to get pinched in the Colorado airport. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Literally everything that you're talking about, if anyone ever wants to see, just go to my channel. I live streamed all of it.
No, and honestly, yeah, shout out to Brooklyn Menace's live streams. I go back and still watch those to this day because them shits are so hilarious.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good time. I said it before and I'll say it again. It was one of the fucking freshest times of my life.
Definitely.
Really fucking fun.
Just the energy, man. The energy and the karma that was at the DCG Con was absolutely irreplaceable. You know, and the second annual DCG Con will always go down in history as that one DCG Con.
Dude, we're survivors. What we are. It's what we do.
And anyway, yeah, I'm trying to move this on a little bit more. We've been
we can talk about DCG Con for hours, so we should just move on, man, for real.
I just wanted to quickly mention the Insane Clown Posse show at the Roxy was absolutely phenomenal to me. Even though they didn't throw no Fago, it was just such a good set. They played some good rare songs. They played The Greatest Show. They played Cotton Candy. They played The Juggler. You know, go check out my channel for some of that footage. I know Roxy's got some of it on hers. That was. I
have the entire show shot in 4K. I never put it up yet.
Yeah, you should put that shit up on CarnivalSpirits ASAP, bro.
I'll just edit it together so it flows as one video. But I actually shot. I shot such long clips that it wouldn't even be that many edits to put it all together, because I was literally going probably like for 20 minutes a shot.
Mm-hmm.
That show was amazing.
I had my little GoPro Hero Session 4 in my hand. I'm in the middle of the mosh pit right up front. I'm getting, you know, squished by everybody, but I got my arm up in the air with my fucking GoPro up. I'm like kind of moving back and forth and trying to keep as straight of an image as I can.
Nice.
I shot it from right behind the audio board in the back.
Yeah, I remember we were up there. I remember I was standing near you with the homegirl Sarah, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh shit, my friend can't be the bearded lady up on stage. I don't know if I want to do it. All right, I'll do it." And so she went up on stage and was the bearded lady. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I kind of want to end DCG Con talk on just this one last thing. I wanted to ask you guys what you thought of Mac Sabbath.
Loved it.
Yeah, they're cool.
I have almost that entire show.
I got a little footage of them too. I definitely was looking forward to them. You know, Mac Sabbath used to work with Green Jello.
Green Jello, yeah, exactly.
You know their history?
A little bit, yeah. I know that they're associated.
Yeah. I don't know everything, but I heard some stuff. You know, I heard some things. You know.
Hey, if you guys haven't checked it out, go check out Ozzy Osbourne meets Mac Sabbath. That video is fucking hilarious.
I still haven't seen that.
Check that out. It's hilarious.
I'll send it to you, TJ.
Thank you, Chaos.
Ozzy Osbourne meets Mac Sabbath. It's a classic. That shit.
Hey, fantastic.
Yo, Danny boy, I gotta tell you, man. I actually gotta go in a little bit, so I just want to say that you're doing a phenomenal job recapping the era prior to Fearless Fred Fury, and I really enjoyed talking with you. I think we should do this again. But for real, Roxy, Riddlebox, Danny, Chaos, Brooklyn, you guys are fucking awesome. Everybody else who's joining us in this video or watching this video later, you already know how I feel about y'all. But for real, I got to work in the morning, so I got to peace out. And I love you guys. So
thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, for real, man. I just want to say I appreciate this because, you know, when Roxy told me what you guys wanted to do tonight, I was like, oh man, I just don't know if I can join, but I will if I can.
I'm really glad you did, man.
Yeah, you shared the link. I was gonna go to bed. You know, earlier in the chat, I saw Lakeland Lunacy. He was like, "Does Beastmaster ever sleep?" It's because I told you I was going to bed because I'm up way past my bedtime right now. But yo, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Mad Clown Love. Whoop whoop.
All right, see you.
Whoop whoop.
So yeah, just because Beastmaster leaves, I hope you guys can stick around a little longer. Because I still got quite a little bit to discuss, man. So this is awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks. This is fucking awesome, y'all. Can you guys hear me and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think we're gonna kind of move on past DCG Con now. I know there's a million things to talk about, but we're gonna move on a little bit from that and start talking a little bit about Whoopstock and the Gathering of the Juggalos 2018. I know, again, just like DCG Con, there's a shit ton of stuff to talk about, but I kind of want to just go over the highlights. Hey, there he is. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, dude, if you have that footage, you should definitely put it out. I have a shitty video on my channel of it, but it's only like...
You know what? It's weird. It's like I get caught up in so many other projects, and then by the time I'm like, well, do people still want to see this?
Oh,
but
man,
yeah, eventually
I'll
put it all together, put it up.
I want to see it.
I shot all this for Carnival Spirits.
Well, put it out then, man.
I'd love to see that, Brooklyn. Hey, whatever happened to that Jekyll Brothers slideshow? Is that ever going to drop?
Yeah, we're gonna do. We're saving that for the next.
Like a special occasion thing.
Yeah, because there's a lot that I have to do. Actually, it's not just about making a slideshow. I'm also going to be doing like a custom remix for it, for the background music.
Shit, cool. All right.
And yeah, I was actually just going to say here in a couple months, it's actually going to be the 20th anniversary of Jekyll Brothers, so that might be a good time to put it out then.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting for.
So you ninjas are here. You're dedicated. I still have quite a bit to talk about in this era. So if you guys want to stay on, just let me know, and we'll continue. So here we are. We're at Whoopstock. I know the people in this hangout, they were all at Whoopstock. I know some of the people in the chat were at Whoopstock, and it was quite an incredible gathering in the Juggalos. Roxy, you want to start off with your thoughts?
Well, Whoopstock was... Oh, sorry. Hold on one second.
No problem.
So, Whoopstock was actually my first gathering that I was able to make. And it was quite suiting. But, no, everything about it was super fresh. Just getting to kick it with all the family and fucking just have a great time and do whatever the fuck we wanted. It was the shit.
Yeah, and we got to officially get Chaos to his first gathering. I remember Don Chaos was wondering if he was even going to be able to make it this year, so I'm really glad that we were able to hook him up with a ride. And
I was going to make sure that he made it for sure. I mean, we're all kind of in the same area, so why the fuck not, you know?
Yeah,
Carpool.
Last minute thing, Roxy just texted me out of nowhere, and she's like, dude, we're so going.
And I'm glad that it ended up happening that way, because not only do I feel good about getting you to your first gathering, Chaos, but you're actually a really fucking fun dude to gather with. So I'm really fucking glad you were able to make it out there with us. You camped with us.
Like I said, it was a huge honor because, like you said, when you met me at DCG Con, that you've been watching me for years and stuff.
Yeah, and Captain, he just said that was his first gathering, and I know it was actually quite a few other ninjas' first gathering, and I thought that's part of what was kind of special about it, is because this gathering particularly brought a lot of people together for the first time. I know a lot of the members of the Jugganati were able to finally meet each other. What's that, Chaos?
Just the YJC in general was
there.
there.
Just the YJC in general. Pretty much, so many people were up in there. It was an absolute pleasure to meet all you motherfuckers that I hadn't already met at DCG Con. And fucking, yeah, Captain Flannel, Roxy. What was I going to say? Anyway, so a couple big highlights happened at this gathering. One of which, I don't want to just discuss the ICB seminar because a lot of things were discussed at the seminar. So I'm just going to kind of go over a little bit of the highlights. ICP officially confirmed that they would have no longer worked with Twisted, and they plan on not ever working with Twisted again. So that was kind of confirmed at this gathering. Another kind of big piece of information that we learned from this year's gathering of the Juggalos was also the announcement of Fearless Fred Fury. Obviously, the date was wrong, and it got pushed out another 3 months.
Yeah,
but
I actually recorded the whole seminar. It's actually here on the channel, which is
cool. Go check out Carnival Spirits. You can definitely get those that footage. It was also kind of officially released kind of what Flip the Rat was. I know a lot of ninjas were thinking, what is Flip the Rat? Well, Jay confirmed that it is, in fact, a sideshow EP, if not MP, a medium play. We just recently found out it has 12 songs on it. So those were kind of the biggest official announcements I want to talk about at the seminar. I could talk about Looney Goons and Bloody Brothers and shit all day, but the reality of the matter is we haven't seen anything actually come out of that. So I'm not going to talk about that too much. So yeah, this is just the time for any of you guys to talk about your highlights of the gathering. Anyone in the chat, anyone in the hangout, what were y'all's fucking favorite parts of this year's gathering?
Anyone?
I'll go first.
Go ahead, Chaos.
Just everything, partying, living it up, I was actually chilling with my brother Dale, aka D Lyrical, and I remember when he was just chilling at the barbecue with me, and everyone's like, Don, who's that dude chilling with you? And then I had him like, bro, come here. And I was like, everyone, this is Dale, or some of y'all know him as D Lyrical. And everyone's like, holy shit, Don's got connection with D Lyrical? Holy fuck. And
yeah, that was cool getting to kick it with Dale this year at the gather, or now last year. Yeah, it was definitely cool to kick it with him. He's a really chill, down to earth OG ninja.
Shout out to D Lyrical. That's my brother. And we actually got to kick it with him at his crib also, which was the shit.
That's actually what I was just about to say, Chaos. One of my absolute favorite highlights of this year was being honored enough to be welcomed inside of Dale's house with you and Roxy Riddlebox. That was truly a humbling experience.
Yeah, and we had so much shit on us, and we had to go back to Colorado and driving, and I'm pretty happy that we, left all our shit with him, because I think that was a good choice, just to be safe,
Of course,
all the paraphernalia.
Me and him were getting live the last night during the ICP set. Both me, him, and Vinny, of course, all three, me, him, and Vinny were getting live to Zug Island one of the nights.
Yep, that was fun.
Props to Ouija and Light for putting on a funny-ass seminar. Props to Ouija for shutting that stupid bitch up.
Yeah, and props to Light for his fucking ninja cartwheel off the stage. Like, holy shit, that was fucking a ninja move right there. Damn.
Totally. Yeah, I gotta say, out of all the seminars I got to see this year, Ouija and Light were the most comical and probably the most entertaining of the year.
Oh, Gathering Flannel just reminded me of something too. Another highlight of the gathering. I got to smoke a blunt with ABK, Anybody Killa, which was fucking magical. He's such a dope dude, and he's got really great energy. And, a lot of people were trying to hound him and shit for, like, photos and signatures and all that good shit like people do. And, I just kind of walk up out of left field, just this little fucking short ninja, like, yo, you want to smoke a blunt? I just want to smoke a blunt. And he was like, hell yeah. Like, he was totally down. And I had to, like, run and go get my weed and go get a blunt wrap and, like, go roll it. And he just dealt with my ass and, like, totally smoked it with me. And it was dope as fuck. And ABK
y'all
were
awesome. Just chopping it up with Isham, just like normal, which is crazy.
Yeah, we got,
cool
got to meet ABK.
Yeah, I was actually at Isham's merch booth, just chilling there, like, looking at what he had left. And I remember we wanted one of those acid wrap shirts with the smiley face and the little piece of acid on his tongue. And they were actually out of those at that point. And I was just sitting there staring at what they had left. And Isham's like, what up, girl? Like, what's going down? I was just like, holy shit, Eshan's talking to me. This is like, I'll look behind me.
Yeah,
You know, that classic moment.
you for a
where you
picture.
look behind you, right? It's like that classic moment where you look behind you thinking they're talking to somebody else. And I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking dope.
The Godfather asked you for a picture. That's crazy.
So, how many
Great,
fucking,
what an honor.
how many fucking times did I have to run face first into Brooklyn Menace's selfie fucking stick? Hey,
I think everybody ran into that selfie stick.
let's hear from you, Brooklyn. What was some of your favorite highlights? This was.
Yeah, sure. I'm just loading up a video.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Yeah, I actually got to open Brooklyn's beer, and I felt pretty special about that.
Oh yeah. And
I definitely agree with Captain Flannel. Like Hell's Pit, man.
Yeah,
I was just about to say,
which I'm playing a little bit here while I'm talking about it. Like just something that I have such great memories of. Like I remember the excitement when that album was dropping, and I just couldn't wait to finish work that day because I knew I had about an hour and a half drive home, and I was going to listen to the whole thing for the first time.
Nice.
And just to finally get to see like that entire album. I know that they didn't perform the entire album, but it's the best thing you're going to get to performing the entire album. Get to see that live, man. It's like I might have cried a little bit when that shit was starting.
I definitely cried. I cried a little bit out of my eyes and cried a little bit out of my penis that night.
Oh, I was
either crying because of the show or because I was afraid I was about to be blown up by a mortar. I don't know. It might have been 50-50.
I was singing angrily because that album brought me back to a dark time in my life, but I noticed that album helped me get through a lot in my life.
Totally. Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of juggalos feel as well, Don Chaos. Fucking just because it's such a dark, gritty album, it's helped so many people, including myself, out of some of the darkest times in my very life. And just looking over here at the footage that Brooklyn's got, it reminds me of that Whoopstock video that you made. Which, by the way, you said there's a part 2 too, right, Brooklyn? That hasn't come out.
Yeah, if I ever get to it.
Dude, I gotta say that first one, it was honestly one of my favorite gathering videos from this year I've ever seen, like hands down. Like the way you slowed it down for the fucking Fago Armageddon, it just like captures the whole moment. Now, granted, I was tripping on some acid for Hell's Pit, and you know I might have been seeing a little bit too much than what was actually going on. But I could definitely tell Violent J wasn't really in his element that night. He seemed almost like he was sick, or if it just being weighed down by something. And
forming that whole album, because like you said, that was a dark time for me.
Yeah, and it was very obvious to see on stage. He was, you know, gripping the microphone stand and just kind of rocking back and forth. He didn't really kick very many Fagos into the crowd. He kind of just stayed close to his microphone and just grabbed that shit and was just rapping. And that was one of the most powerful ICP sets, because not only were they just performing Hell's Pit, but they were actually feeling Hell's Pit and really getting the energy of Hell's Pit.
They were spraying red pop in the crowd.
Yeah, and they were spraying red pop, so that made it look more like blood. It was just the most wicked shit ever. And me and my homie Ganja, now I know we were both tripping that night or whatever, but we both swear that we saw a cloud come out of the gathering grounds that night after Hell's Pit, and that's when we believe Fearless Fred Fury was actually released from the Nether Void and into existence.
It was released from the Dark Carnival.
Now you guys probably all think, oh, look at this little tripped out fucker. But no, like we really felt.
I think there was a full moon that night too, wasn't there?
There was, and it was cloudy. Like the next day, remember the next day after Hell's Pit, it was just cloudy, and there was like this gloominess over the whole gathering. Not like it was a bad thing or anything, but it's just like you could feel the presence of Hell's Pit and also the release of Fearless Fred Fury. Because if y'all remember, Fearless Fred Fury is a cloud. He comes in the form of a gas or a cloud. And I believe that he was actually released from Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope's inner eye, where the Dark Carnival is given birth from.
That's the real LSD shit for y'all.
Well, we were lucky that
whatever rocks.
That day it was all nice and cool. It wasn't super hot that day, at least.
Yep, and the next day, my laptop got fucked up in the rain because I didn't realize it was going to rain, and I left it in the fucking tent, and my laptop got destroyed from the rain.
But then again, we got to highlight light stopped a tornado from probably happening.
Yes, and you know what? I also thought was really cool. I don't know if you guys know this, but Snaps actually put a little video up about when she met Light at the gathering. Light rolled up in a golf cart, and it was super sunny and everything. This was before his set, and you hear Light say to Snaps like, "Oh, I really wish it would rain. Like, I hope it fucking rains. It would be dope if it rains for my set." And then guess what happened? It rained for Light's set. So, like, he manifested that shit. I thought that was also fucking some Dark Carnival magic.
Yeah, there was some wicked funnel clouds came through.
Yeah. But yeah, you know,
another thing about the gathering for me was, you know, finally getting to just be together with like the whole Studio 17 crew.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just like antics from like even before the gathering started, because we were there. We were inside on the, you know, on the grounds the night before. And I literally thought that some people weren't going to make it to the gathering, even starting just from the first night.
What, you're talking about Ross?
Yeah.
It was an honor meeting Not Slim One for the first time. I remember I seen him. I'm like, Not Slim One. He's like, Dark Chaos. And we just embrace each other with a hug.
I honestly wish I could have hung out with y'all Studio 17 cats a little bit more, man. I regret not doing that. So next year's gathering, I definitely want to kick it with y'all guys a lot more, man.
Yeah, just don't fall asleep. You might get a pack of firecrackers on you.
Yeah.
It's going down this year.
No, I'm super stoked. But yeah, I don't want to sit here too long talking about the gathering. If there's anything else that you guys want to talk about the gathering, let it be known.
It's just amazing. There's always something going on. It's just, you know, it's like, all right, so coming off of DCG Con and then going into the gathering, it's like, okay, this is another fucking level.
Oh, was this your first gathering, Brooklyn?
It was my first gathering.
Oh yeah, and it was a lot of ninjas' first gathering, and I think that's part of what made it so magical, because like it was just like it was perfect.
Props to Escoban for showing everyone what the number 19 means. That the number 19 actually means a first for everything, which was crazy.
What do you mean?
Well, apparently, like Escoban, like in our Discord, he was like, guys, I found out what the number 17 could mean, and we all read it, and it meant 19 can mean like a first for everything. And isn't it ironic that it was the 19th annual gathering and it was a lot of people's first time?
Yeah, and I've been saying this throughout the whole year of 2018, but I feel like there was something in the air this year that brought so many people together. Like, for example, just the YouTube Juggalo community alone. Like, why is it this year that everybody just decided, like, this is the year to come together? You know, and I think it's continuing and it's growing, you know, this whole thing. You know, for anybody out there that says, oh, the Juggalo world's stale, you know, nothing happens anymore, y'all are obviously so polar oppositely wrong, because this is like the time. This is,
look at all of us on here.
Juggalo.
We're homies here on YouTube, but we're also homies here outside of YouTube. We're all legitimately family with each other.
Totally.
Like everyone in this video, everyone in the chat, all these people are the ones that I consider my family and my brothers and sisters. I
agree, man. And I'm into that. You know, everybody is, y'all are my family. All the Juggalos are my fucking family.
Hell yeah, family for life, fool.
And that's why I'm not about this whole divide thing. You know, I turned into a Juggalo because there was no such thing as ranks. There was no such thing as a higher Juggalo. We all just fucking Juggalo scrubs, and that's why we're here, man, to enjoy this together. So let's continue to keep the wagons of the Dark Carnival moving.
Hashtag Juggalo unity. Hashtag one united Juggalo nation.
So anyway, I want to move along from the gathering a little bit. There's not that much left to talk about from the era of the missing link. That was pretty much my last main thing to go to in 2018, besides the Hallowicked Silver Jubilee tour that happened in Colorado, and Gorefest, absolutely. But I want to give Roxy Riddlebox a chance to talk about her first Hallowicked.
Hallowicked in Detroit. That was fucking sick. Just that whole Detroit vibe, man. Like it was surreal. Like experienced some crazy shit at the Airbnb where you were at, because apparently it wasn't that great of a neighborhood. But it was the whole Detroit experience. You know what I'm saying? It was fun. And I actually hit up 2 of the Colorado Hallowicked shows for the tour before going to Detroit. So that was pretty fresh, getting to see 3 Hallowicked shows out of that tour. So I felt pretty lucky to fucking be able to experience that. And yeah, I got to kick it with a lot of motherfuckers that I hadn't seen since the gathering. So it was all around a good ass time for sure.
Awesome. And Chaos, do you want to talk anything at all about the Denver shows that we went to, or the Hallowicked ones?
Well, it was really cool because even though it still counts as a Hallowicked show because it was a tour. That was actually my first Hallowicked show. The Colorado Springs show was lit. It felt like an old school ICP show. They were inviting people on stage as long as you weren't interfering with the performance. You know, you got on stage with Ouija and just rocked it out with him.
Yeah, that was fun as fuck, man.
Of course, the next night in Aurora, they were playing at like this like country bar or something, but it was a nice venue.
The Stampede, and that was dope. I felt like that place was kind of fancy for a bunch of juggalos to be at, but it was fresh.
Yeah,
Super
we kind of
fresh.
made it official that if that place is an actual bar, that me and Roxy and Danny might have just found our new hangout spot and bar to go to.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's kind of a country bar.
I was going to say, that kind of seems like a hick bar, but hey, if there's a clown show there, I'll go there again.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, the end of the 2018, that's actually very recent to what's been going on lately. So there's not too much new news to talk about there. You know, we've been living it. It's just happened a couple months ago. And we're slowly starting to enter the era of Fearless Red Fury. We've got some singles. But I kind of wanted to shift gears. If you guys are still, are you guys still down to keep this going for a little bit? Because I wanted to switch gears a little bit.
Sure.
I wanted to actually go over a lot of the music that came out during this era. I wanted to go over all the music that we can think of that came out during this era. And Roxy coming out with them smoke rings. Hell yeah, he's got them smoke rings down to a T. How you liking that vape pen?
It's all right. Trying to work with it.
So if you guys are okay with me moving on a little bit from the timeline, I'm going to start talking about the music that came out during this era. So, of course, we had the Marvelous Missing Link albums, Lost and Found, that came out 3 months apart from each other. And that kind of marked the beginning of the era, I think, to me.
Which those 2 albums really helped me through, because at the time those albums came out, I was going through a dark time. So both those albums, like, literally were therapy for me.
Definitely. Now, Don Chaos, I want to know, what's your opinion about the Outtakes album that came out? Do you think it's better? Is it worse? Is it just as good?
I am like some people where I go, okay, this should have been on the album. Why was this taken off?
Yeah. No, I think the Outtakes actually have some of the best songs from that era on it. I'm totally wondering why they didn't add it to the actual albums. But it is the way it is, and there's nothing we can do to change it. I want to take a real quick moment to address the chat. I don't want you guys to think I'm forgetting about you guys.
Yeah, don't forget Ouija Mac came out during this era too. So
yeah, no, I think I mentioned that Ouija Mac was signed in on I think September 6th of 2017. Chaos, I don't think you were part of the hangout when I mentioned that. Did you want to talk a little bit about when Ouija Mac dropped? Because I know he's one of your favorite artists.
Well, and the dude's my brother for real.
Yeah, and your brother.
Well, I was surprised. I remember like going back to DCG Con Vinny, because, you know, he does have connections with Psychopathic. I remember him just telling us, dude, you guys are in for a treat for Gutter Water. And by God, Vinny was right. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And I remember because we were all just kicking it with Ouija. Like, he was like, we're like, oh, Ouija's just out here kicking it with the Juggalos. And he just out here chopping it up with us, smoking with us. And I was surprised. I really was. And I love Gutter Water. I still listen to that album. I joke and say, this album is my crack, yo. It's that good.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and that's part of what I wanted to talk about. That's definitely one of the albums that came out. I wanted to start kind of going a little bit in chronological order. So we talked about Lost and Found. The outtakes came out on October 2nd of 2015. That's also kind of around the time we got the 20th anniversary Riddle Box, the Gold Riddle Box edition.
Yep.
And the Phantom EP. The Phantom EP also came out around that time, around the end of 2015. This was supposed to be kind of a sideshow EP for the Marvelous Missing Link. If you ask me, the Phantom is up there with some of ICP's best work.
Yeah, definitely one of the best sideshow albums.
Totally. And again, I hate to keep repeating myself, but I feel like if they just took some songs from the outtakes, some songs from Phantom, some songs from Lost and Found, and put it all together, they would have made a fucking untouchable album. Now, I'm not complaining the way they did it. You know, they did it for a reason, and that's fine. We have more material now because of it. But
I like to listen to Joker's cards as a whole, and
yeah,
I don't know, the Lost and Found, they grew on me, man. It got to the point where I was literally listening to both of them every day. Yeah, there might be like a song here or there that I could skip, but sometimes you gotta give things more than one listen before you just decide, you know.
And Brooklyn makes a great point too about the Joker cards. Is you can't just go in and cherry pick songs and listen to them. With the Joker cards especially, it's a whole story. It's a whole mythology. So when you listen to the whole thing, it gives you a much better picture of the concept and the image of really what's going on. And I agree with you, Brooklyn Menace. It took me a little while to really digest Lost and Found. I still say they're my least favorite Joker cards, but at the same time, I got to admit, I went as far to say I hated them when they first came out. But the more and more I've listened to them and the more I've kind of helped integrate it into my life, I've realized that they're actually they're dope. They're dope.
That's why it's always been hard for me when people say, what's your favorite Joker's card? I'm like, that's really hard because everyone is good in its own way, shape, or form, and the message behind all of them is good.
Yeah. And that's to go along with also these new songs, WTF and Fury. You know, you guys can feel a certain way about them now, whether it be good or bad. But once you hear it in the whole saga, I think it's going to click a lot more, and I think we're going to enjoy those songs even more.
Yeah, I think Beastmaster even mentioned he stopped listening to it. He doesn't
I did
by themselves anymore. He's waiting for the album to drop, wants to hear how they fit into the picture.
I did too. I listened to Fury for the last time yesterday, and that'll be it until the album comes out.
They're both dope. And Fury, literally, I played that so many times because I just wanted to get learn every word of that song. And that I have fucking real high hopes for the album. Or for that track.
He says his favorite Joker card is the Ringmaster. Yeah, mine too, bro. But right now, I'm actually just talking about the second deck. What's y'all's favorite Joker card on the second deck?
As of right now,
yeah,
I definitely say the Mighty Death Pop.
I agree. Hey, Oz, what about you? What's your favorite?
I have a feeling that's about to change.
Like I said, musically, it's hard, but story-wise, I actually like the story of all the Joker cards in this set also so far.
Do you have a particular favorite Joker card out of this set yet?
Not really. I've actually been enjoying everything so far because it's all like a piece of a story, basically. So I like especially each story. Like now, Missing Link, Lost and Found, that really did speak to me because all the crazy shit I was going through at the time. So that's probably the one that really gravitated towards me, because a lot of the tracks off of there I could like relate to, like How off of Lost. When I heard the song, I was like, holy shit, it's like, this is my song and stuff. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's one of those songs that just like grabs your soul and you're like, holy fuck, I'm feeling this same way.
And again, you know, we're in the middle of a Joker card era right now. But years later, when this whole deck is revealed, I feel like it's going to even be more fresh, because that's just how it is. Once they're all together in the saga, like a puzzle piece, it just works more. It works.
And my theory is, the theory that me and my homie came up with a few years ago, it's starting to come to fruition. With the original deck, there was all this dark stuff, and then as it got towards the end, it got happy. With this deck, it was happy, but it was still wicked shit, and now you're in the middle of this deck, the fourth Joker's card, Fearless Fred Fury, and from what we've been hearing so far, it's going to be straight up dark shit. So I had a feeling, and I was right. I was like, this deck's going to be all happy at the beginning and a little dark, but then as it gets closer and closer to the end, it's going to go straight to wicked shit, like the opposite direction.
Yeah, totally, man. And what Captain Flannel just said in the chat, hoping Fearless Fred Fury is my favorite deck of this card, but we will see. So yeah, I think a lot of ninjas are feeling that same way.
Dope. When I get a gut feeling about something in a good way, I've never been wrong about it. So my gut and soul tells me yes, 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 yes.
Totally. So next on the list was the Hollow Wicked single that came out in 2015, Haunted by the Devil.
Dope song.
And that also actually had a video with it too. What do you guys think about that song?
I really loved it.
All right, Chaos, I got to step out for 2 seconds. Roxy, Chaos, or Brooklyn, can you just keep it going for like a minute?
Un momento. So I kind of want to jump into like a little sneak peek. I don't know how many people have heard the new Drive-By EP that just dropped for the OGs, but there's the intro is super dope, and I was wondering if I could just play the intro for y'all. It's really quick.
Do it.
And it's something that I've been saying for a while, and ABK puts it in a great way. So, all right, so check this out. Ready?
Yep.
And all these motherfuckers out here acting like they the president of juggalos and shit. Talk about, I'm more down with you and you ain't shit because you ain't got... Man, fuck that shit. Whatever happened to just being a fucking juggalo? Because you down and shit. Drive by, bitch. Juggalo unity.
Yeah. Juggalo unity, y'all. That's what it's about.
Use that hashtag.
And I love that ABK said that to start out that fucking For the OGs EP. That made me so happy, and it put a big ass smile on my face. So Juggalo unity for life, motherfucker.
I regret to inform I still haven't listened to any of the CD yet. Have you yet, Roxy or Chaos?
I haven't.
Yeah, I actually just played the intro for these folks. It's fucking
I
awesome.
heard the intro. Yeah, I just didn't know if you heard the whole CD yet.
I haven't heard it yet, but
I've heard what, Chaos?
Oh, I said I haven't, but once I do and I digest it, you'll definitely see a review for it.
Nice.
Yes, I'll admit, in depth, I've listened to probably the first half, very in depth. I still have a few more songs that I need to listen to on it, but so far I love it. But I've always been a sucker for ABK and Blaze. I love those two. They're on a different level for me.
That's how I am too. I'm like, basically anything that Blaze and ABK do, it's pure gold in me. I'm a sucker for Drive-By. Drive-By is my shit.
I'm absolutely with you there, Chaos. Fucking
yeah.
ABK, they just they're on this other level fucking vibe, you know, and they just kill shit, and they're still keeping that Juggalo unity and spreading that message by doing this tour. And I love everything about it. I love the artists, the message that they're spreading. The fucking set was spectacular. Man, I wish I could go see the next fucking show. I think they're in Spokane tonight. But yeah, fucking awesome show. I loved it.
Yeah, and real quick, shout out to Roxy for getting a Carnival Spirits shout out from Blaze and ABK. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was super cool. They're down ass ninjas for sure.
And really, oh, go ahead.
I ended up actually giving them my blunt that I wanted to smoke with them because, you know, 5 years ago at the Roxy in the green room, I smoked a blunt with Potluck and it was all goody then. But now there's no smoking, including vapes, inside of the Roxy, even in the green room. So I ended up not being able to smoke the blunt with them, but I just gave it to him, and ABK's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, take this shit. You guys go smoke this. You know, fucking enjoy your night. Fucking be safe on the road and shit." And just gave him my blunt and was like, you know, "See y'all." And fucking Blaze was like, "Hopefully we'll get to smoke the blunt with you next time." I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah." And yeah, super chill.
Hashtag Juggalo Unity, y'all. Hashtag One United Juggalo Nation.
Oh yeah. Cool. Well, thank you. Thank you for keeping the convo going there for a little bit while I had to step out. If you don't mind, I'd like to continue talking about some of the music that came out during this era.
There you go.
Go for it.
So we just went over the Hollow Wicked single, Haunted by the Devil. Now, I found one thing I found kind of interesting about the year of 2016 is we got literally no new ICP songs at all besides their 2016 Hollow Wicked single. I think it was called Who You Know. So in the entire year of 2016, we did not get any ICP. And now I just want to let you know, I'm starting off with ICP stuff, and then we'll go over to other artists. I know like Big Hoodoo released The Asylum, which is
Really
a very
slept on album.
Very slept on, underrated Big Hoodoo album. Definitely a dope album if you haven't checked it out. What also else came out in 2016 was fucking Blase Rose, the Broken EP. We got.
Oh, did you guys see my Blase Rose remix, by the way, on the Dark Carnival Network?
Oh, I have to see this.
All right, I'll try to put it on my phone screen. It might look like shit, but we'll try this shit.
Okay.
It's pretty fun. I had fun making it. All right, you guys ready for the I'm Broken remix?
Yes.
All right, here we go. It's kind of a visual thing too. Let me see if I can get this to work. Do you guys see it?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to see.
Is it? Well, anyway, it's The Exorcist, and yeah, if you
I'll just plug your channel right now. Make sure to go over to Roxy Riddlebox's channel and check.
No, it's on Dark Carnival Network.
On Dark Carnival Network.
On Dark Carnival Network, and look up that shit because it's funny as fuck.
Yeah, it's dope.
Hell yeah, Roxy.
I suck at editing. The editing is totally ghetto, but it's the fucking idea is pretty good. It's pretty funny.
So included in this topic too were music videos that came out in this era. In 2015 to 2016, the Explosions video came out. Now, Roxy, I don't know if you've seen this, but you remember Sons of Anarchy, the fucking bearded dude that remember at kind of one of the last seasons, the dude with the beard that he like his wife died or something.
Which one with the beard? They all had fucking beards.
He wasn't one of the bikers. He was like one of the he came. Remember when the main dude was in prison? What was his name? Otto. Remember Otto?
Yeah, I remember Otto. He bit off his fucking tongue. That shit was epic.
Yeah. Talking to this dude. Remember, it was the dude because he killed his sister or something and he wanted revenge. Do you remember that motherfucker at all?
He wanted.
I
believe they killed his wife.
Yes, he was actually in the video Explosions.
Really?
I didn't know if
a little thing that a lot of people don't know is that guy that played Otto. That's actually the dude that created the show Sons of Anarchy.
Yes, that's the creator of the show. That's
Yep.
true.
And Marilyn Manson's
yeah.
in that fucking show too. He's in prison later on.
And actually, that same guy is married to the chick that plays Gemma, right?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
God, I missed that show.
Anyway, we're going a little bit off track, but the point is that fucking asshole motherfucker, he's in the video Explosions, Falling Apart. That video also came out in 2016. And wasn't that the video where people were starting to think if that Fearless Fred Fury was in the background?
I still like to make that theory, and I noticed that's also when people are starting to notice Jay was starting to look a little healthier.
Yeah. Yeah, because remember in that video, you get like Jay's rapping and there's like this big red dark devil kind of thing in the background. You know, some people think that that might be the beginnings of Fearless Fred Fury, but that is just pure speculation.
Yeah, I did a video on that.
Yeah, I remember that. And around 2017, this was kind of the time that Jay was doing a lot of those cover songs. So he covered that Beautiful song by Christina Aguilera. If you remember
That
that.
was pretty funny.
Beautiful, Indestructible.
Icy twist on that song is good. I don't care what anyone says.
It's a catchy song, I can't lie.
Message to it, especially Shaggy's verse.
And we also got that For Life, Juggalo for Life.
Which
Fuck
say
the
what y'all,
internet, we be out here living life.
which say what y'all will, that song is catchy and that chorus is the truth. Fuck the internet.
I mean, the chorus.
I remixed it into an EDM song.
Did you, Brooklyn?
Yes, I did.
Hey, all this shit that you said you did, we don't see it, man.
All right, I'll drop the link in the chat. But I'm not trying to. Don't leave this show, but you can go check it out some other time.
Okay. This is really just for music videos. We also got the 6 foot 7 foot, very controversial music video, came out early 2017. This was right.
Remixed that too.
Did you? I'd like to hear it. It's a dope song, man. Because I'm not a huge fan of that Lil Wayne beat or whatever it is that they're rapping over.
Well, I like that beat. I just never liked the song because of Lil Wayne, but the beat.
Right.
All right, first I'm gonna drop the remix I did to the 6 foot 7 foot. There it is.
Which I remember hearing 6 foot 7 foot, and I was like, "Damn, Jay!" I was like, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah, Necessary Evil. My last name is Otto.
All I gotta say is I'm gonna still say this. Jay went freaking ham on that song.
Who did?
Jay on 6 foot 7 foot.
Oh yeah.
No one was safe in that song, and I mean literally no one.
I'm sorry, you know, I don't mean to bring up old beef, but fucking that song destroyed G Moski's one.
Who's G Moski?
Who?
Huh? Oh, John in the chat says, "Are we gonna cover Jay's furry suit? That shit's fresh."
Yeah, we can cover that too, man. For sure.
I also did a remix of 6 foot 7 foot with G Moski's diss track, and I actually did it as a back and forth track.
Oh, actually, did you release that? Because I feel like I've heard that one.
Yeah, about over a year ago.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that.
And just the way Shaggy has that short verse on there, and then Violent J's like, "Joey, you have your own fucking album out."
Yeah, you have your own album. And that's around the same time Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker dropped. I don't want to skip over that by any means. That is actually, I think, one of the best psychopathic releases in, I want to say, 5-6 years, maybe more.
To DJ Clay for getting back and helping put that album out and producing it.
Yep. And I don't think I'd be the only one to say that Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker definitely deserves Album of the Year of 2017. And, you know, it definitely still goes down as one of the best Psy releases in a long time. But for the music videos, we also got the Fuck My Dad music video that released on Father's Day of 2017. Now, this song was already a song. It was released on Forgotten Freshness 5, but they officially made a video out of it, which I thought was pretty entertaining. was released on Father's Day. Fuck my dad, Richard Bruce.
Which was dope in the video. You see Violent J, his brother, and his sister all in the beginning of the video.
Yep, and at the very end, do you remember, actually, that was also starting when they were starting to hint at the FFF. Because remember, at the very end, there was a very brief millisecond where you would have to pause it at the right time, and it would give you a link to a website. And remember, the website, if you put that URL in, the website would direct you to a page that just simply said, beware.
Yep, and people were like, what does this mean? Does it mean like fuck fake fathers?
Yeah, no, I remember that. That was kind of, this was before Fearless Fred Fury was even the name. Like, people didn't even know the name or anything by that point.
Yep.
My favorite part of that video was in the beginning when Violent J, without the face paint, when he says, dear deadbeat dad, and right as he steps into the camera, the face paint comes on.
Yeah.
It's all gritty in black and white.
I love that video, honestly, man. Like, it's just super passionate. You know, if you've ever read the book or know anything about Violent J's history, you know that his dad was a piece of shit. He was molested and all that crap. And, you know, that song is a good tribute to that motherfucker.
And anyway, fuck deadbeat dads in general.
Yeah, yeah. And just, it was a good tribute to all fuck deadbeat dads in general. I want to just try to catch up to the comments a little bit here. Captain Flannel says that was a actual song. Gmo was 3 mins of hey, you're gay. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I thought Violent J's song was way better, because all Gmo did was just say, hey, you're gay, and then he rhymed gay with gay, or you're homo, or you're a fucking faggot. Okay, that's not that original, bro. Oh, and by the way, who are you? Like, pull Jay's resume. Like, let's see your resume, bro. I've never even heard of this motherfucker. But anyway, that's all.
And what is
Gmo's talking so much about being gay. I think he's trying to tell us something.
I don't. You know, that's usually the sign of closet homosexuals. Gmo Punk, he'll probably end up having a Twisted diss track in a few years. Yeah, you know, who knows? He seems like one of them bandwagon riders. I never really thought that he was a juggalo in the first place. Anywho, what's it? To finish off with the videos that happened that we were released in the Mighty Missing Link era, fuck my dad. Then Shaggy's Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker dropped, where we got 2 awesome videos out of that. First was Tell These Bitches, which was a fucking awesome. Shaggy was wearing the old school, the red, like what, fishing hat or whatever you would call that, like, you know, the red DJ
Kango.
Yeah, like what Brooklyn's wearing in his fucking.
What I'm wearing in the picture right here.
Yeah, it had an old school hip hop feel to it.
It was awesome, and he was busting moves out. That was definitely one of my favorite videos that dropped that year. Then later he came out with The Knife, which was just an awesome video where DJ Clay makes a cameo. He plays a cop, and you know, it was just, you know, there's blood.
And that major twist at the end where DJ Clay and him become partners.
Yeah, and that's what that album was. It was DJ Clay and Shaggy just showing what they could do in their full potential. So, and then I think that's about it for the music videos, at least that came out of Psychopathic throughout the Missing Link era. There was more music that came out for sure.
I believe the same day Shaggy dropped that single was the same day that, ironically, Young Wicked dropped a single for his album, which was weird.
Huh, I don't remember that, but you could be right.
I was like, huh, both these are dropping on the same day. Crazy.
Yeah, you know, I remember a lot of things during the 2017 era it almost seemed like, you know, there's one thing and then the next camp would come out with something.
Yep,
you know?
We'd be all like, coincidence?
Right. Man, I'm glad that year is over. My God.
But, hey, a lot of good music came out of that year.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and we got the Psychopathic Soldier song that was a diss track towards Twisted, obviously. We got the Cypher, the Juggalo Love Cypher, where Ouija's whole verse was pretty much a diss track towards Twisted. And then the 6 foot, 7 foot video was a clear diss towards M&E. But that's, you know, I made a video about this recently. That's kind of the last we've heard from Psychopathic dissing M&E. and yet Eminem continues to keep putting out diss tracks. But that's besides the point. I don't want to get too much into that.
Yep, enough of the negative shit.
So anyway, more fucking awesome music that came out of the Marvelous Missing Link era. We had, well, I know this is one of your favorites, Chaos, Ouija Max, Gutter Water, and also the re-release of Trash Fire.
Yep, which very good. If anyone hasn't heard those yet, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Go support my brother for life.
The last one of my pages here.
Of course, he also topped the Billboard chart, so props to him for that.
What was that, Chaos?
Oh, I was like, Gutter Water literally was like the top in the Billboards. Like it was the top rap album, independent album, and everything.
Yep.
And Ouija, a juggalo, outshined Drake, a mainstream rapper. Underdogs for life, y'all. Underdogs win always.
Who the fuck is Drake?
Right?
Okay.
I don't even know.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find my notes, y'all.
You better get your shit together.
I'm just trying to think, the main thing I kind of wanted to make a point because I hear people all over the internet saying, oh, ICP hasn't come out with shit for music in this whole era. Like, when was the last time they came out with anything? They haven't put out anything good since blah, 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 blah. And really, like, when you go and take a look at it, they've come out with a lot of really dope shit in this era. Another one I do remember was the incredible collection or collector's collection worthy of an erection, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Now I know that was just a compilation album from some new stuff, some old stuff, but there's some gems on that for sure. I also think back to this year's Whoopstock. Will It Be Rags Magical Bag of Poo?
Hellseller we got too, even though it's not like new
shit. I know that's not necessarily new material, but it's new to us. It's new to
got the re-release of Misery's Perla Isla.
Yep, I was just gonna say that, and the Demon Angel,
which is a great also empathic album. Fuck.
I think that album is pretty underrated. That one didn't even get nominated for Album of the Year.
Yeah, fuck.
And y'all don't forget we got our fucking Judgment Day remix on the Hollow Wicked single this year.
That single was dope.
Yeah, so we got that Judgment Day remix and shit. That was pretty fucking fresh.
Dale, I know, dropped a new release.
Yeah, D-Lyrical dropped What I Remember. That was a sick album.
And for any old hip-hop head, for anybody who just simply appreciates the art of hip-hop, that is a dope album, man. It's nostalgic. It's got that old funky hip-hop.
Got like funk hip-hop to it,
Yeah, it was just like a laid-back, chill type album.
It's just one of those albums you throw on your CD player and you just cruise down the highway, just smoking and just thinking.
It's super fresh.
It's an awesome album. Shout out to D-Lyrical, man. He's hella slept on as well. But you know what? He kind of came, that's another thing that happened in this era, is D-Lyrical came out of the shadows, man.
Yep.
He wasn't doing anything.
Came out, dropped an album, started kicking it with the Juggalos and shows.
And like he said,
doing
he's
awesome right now.
There.
All of a sudden, we see him on an interview with Scotty D on Fago Lovers, and we're like, oh, yeah, like, whatever happened to this motherfucker?
Yeah, and he just did the New Year's Eve show with ABK. Like, I mean, he's been fucking D-Lyrical's been killing it this year.
Well, like
don't forget the appearance on Tails.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? Since we are talking about the Marvelous Missing Link era, we got to talk about some shit that happened on YouTube in the YJC, and that's one of those things. Is fucking Tales from the Lotus podcast has been killing it. They've brought a lot of juggalos together. This is something that's happened in this era, and it definitely, I think, is worthy of mentioning. All these
1 year today, man.
What's that?
1 year ago today, it started up.
Yeah, I missed the episode live, but I went back and watched it. That's
I don't watch that shit.
I got to admit, you guys did have me going there for a little bit. Like,
I remember when Josh was telling me about it, Scotch Misfit, like every time when I would personally talk to him, he's like, I'm going to be starting a podcast called Tales from the Lows podcast. I'm like, hell yeah, bro.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and anyway, like I think you guys kind of had me halfway going because like I was thinking, oh, this shit's fake, but like I think part of me wanted to think like, oh, maybe it's fake. Like I'm hoping it's just fake beef because who's like, why would you argue over a Replicon Radio Award? But then like part of me also was
Because
like
I told them, the biggest arguments start over the stupidest shit. So start the argument over who's getting the trophy, where it's going.
so like at first I was like, oh no, this is fake news, this is kayfabe. But then eventually after a little bit, I was like, wait, maybe like shit really is going down. Like this sucks. So you guys got me going for a bit. That was fucking awesome, man. But yeah, I'm starting to kind of get my buzz on a little bit. I'm pretty high and I'm kind of losing my notes. I talked a lot about what I wanted to talk about in terms of timelines, in terms of music that came out during this era. Now, if you guys are down to kick it for just a little bit longer, I just kind of want to get into maybe a little bit of like the meaning of the Marvelous Missing Link to you guys. Like when it comes down to a Joker card, when it comes down to morally and ethically what it means in your life. How is the Marvelous Missing Link? You know, whether you like the albums or not, musically, how has the concept helped shape your life?
Well, all I gotta say is those albums really did help me. I was once lost, but now I've found my link to happiness. I have a lot of homies that care about me, and yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, is it weird that I'm an atheist but Found is my favorite song?
I've heard that from several other atheists.
Hey, it's a good song.
Like it's kind of like what I was saying earlier, Brooklyn. Lost and Found doesn't have to be religious albums. They don't have to be about God. They can just be about anything. Like
about you and
whatever. Yeah, it's whatever link in your life that you felt was missing or whatever makes you happy. You know, they portray it to kind of be a spiritual thing, but it doesn't always have to be, you know, for everybody.
And that's why I've always told people I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. There's a big difference.
Totally. Yeah, no, I really I enjoyed these albums, man. I conceptually what they meant in my life. You know, when this kind of album first dropped, I did kind of feel pretty lost. I was going through a lot of fucked up shit in my life. There was definitely things missing, and around it's crazy because coincidentally, around the time Found came out, there were certain things in my life that were really starting to come together, and I really felt like it really coincided with my life.
It's just I think they picked a perfect time for both those to come out because I think a lot of people were going through a lot of rough stuff around that time.
What's up, boy?
I also love Lost at the Carnival. Love the whole sound of that.
So what's that, Brooklyn?
Lost at the Carnival.
Yeah. But why was that song not on Lost?
There's a lot of people that have talked about that. There's some songs that belong on different album.
Right.
But then again, when you look at Shangri-La, yeah, it was a happy album, but there was still dark shit on there somewhat.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, that's just how ICP works, man. It doesn't all have to make fucking sense.
And that's why I laughed when people were like, oh, this Lost is better, Found is better. I'm like, oh, whatever floats your boat. You're getting both of how you get ICP. You're getting dark, serious ICP, and then on Found, you're getting happy-go-lucky, funny ICP.
Yeah. And it's just crazy how these Joker cards really align up with my life, man. I really do feel like they impact me at the same time that they're around, like in that era. And, you know, I don't want to get too into my personal life right now, but I'm at the point of my life where Fearless Red Fury fits in. And it is my time to fight back. There's certain things that I need to do in my home life, you know, in my relationships that it's time to fight back for. So it's like it all happens for a reason, and the timing, it blows my mind every time because the Dark Carnival is real. And It's
And
just
I got that strange thing too. I noticed how when Violent J said fight back, if you want a better job, leave that job that's pulling you down, get a better job. And I did. I left a shitty job. Now I have a good job. I love it. I'm living comfortably.
it's an amazing
What I
thing.
like about music in general is that no matter how old the album, something that you listen to, when you go back and listen to it, it could actually it brings you back to the time when that album came out, and I'll personally get vivid memories of shit when I listen to it. And I also think that's a big reason why so many juggalos say the first 6 Joker's cards will never be topped. Yeah, I understand the point to that, but I also think a lot of it has to do is because when they listen to that, it brings them back to a younger time, and most people are always reminiscing about when they were younger.
Totally.
And those albums bring them back. But you got to realize there's juggalos that kind of came on in the second deck, and these are going to be the albums that they're going to look back on from when they were young. So it's going to mean more to them.
That's what's so fucking awesome about it. And dude, I'm so glad you said that, because nostalgia is a magic thing. Like, music is able to not only make you relive memories, but I almost smell and taste, the times of my life where it was like that. Like, I'm able to you know what I mean? It's like you can almost recapture the texture of your life.
That's how you and me were with Freak Show the other day. Remember, we were like, "Oh God, this album helped me in school."
And so, just a little public service announcement from me to all you juggalos out there that fucking hate on the new school kids and that think, oh, if you have Bang Pow Boo tattooed on your body, then you're shit to me, blah, blah, blah. Because just like what Brooklyn Menace just fucking said, these Joker cards now, they're going to impact them later on in life, just like how the Ringmaster and the Riddle Box and captured us.
But it can also go like this for us OGs. Now we can create a lot of whole other new memories with this new set.
Totally, man. And that's the beauty and the magic of the Dark Carnival. And that's why the Dark Carnival will never fucking die, because even when the clowns die, that shit will just fucking, all you got to do is press play, man.
I live for the carnival. I die for the carnival.
Yeah, man. Well, we've been on for over 2 hours now at this point. I'm going to kind of let everybody wrap themselves up with them thoughts. Anything you think I might have missed? I got to be honest, I didn't really talk much about the M&E side, about shit, what was going on with Twisted. And, I'm sorry, we just don't really have time to on this one, because otherwise we could talk and talk and talk. But we kind of just went over.
Real quick, I'll tell you guys my favorite releases off of M&E so far.
Yeah, let's hear it, Roxy.
So I like the Zodiac imprint that came out, Blazing ROC, Ambues and Muerte, Blazer Dead Homies Casket Factory.
Yes, Casket Factory.
And that Triple Threat was sick too. Those are my favorite releases off M&E so far.
Zodiac imprint.
What?
Yeah, I love the Zodiac imprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, to this very day, I gotta say my favorite M&E things that have come out during this era would be the Casket Factory, would be number one. Zodiac imprint. That's tied with AMB's Muerte. And the third one would be Alazulilu, the Almighty.
Yeah, a lot of people are digging that album. I haven't heard much of it though.
It's dope.
So
yeah, it's another album that's great to listen to start to finish.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to peep that shit out for sure.
So I don't know how fucking stoned and buzzed you guys are, but I'm pretty buzzed here, and I want to, if you guys want to do whatever you want, you can, but I want to show you some of the shows I went to. And a lot of these actually...
I'm getting ready to jump off, though, Danny. I'm on a different time frame than you people.
That's okay, Brooklyn.
But straight up, man, I've always wanted to see you up on Carnival Spirits, so I was really happy to see you here tonight. I hope we definitely see a lot more of you on here doing your thing.
Hell yeah, thank you, and thanks for dropping by, you and Deadhead, man.
Heck yeah, much love, Brooklyn.
All right,
I love what you're doing, Brooklyn. Whoop whoop.
Whoa. Steel City says whoops, and Viking says Mono eats fart sandwiches.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, if you guys want to keep up with the chat a little bit, I want to just show you guys some ticket stubs I got. What's up, Steel City? That's another thing we did just a couple months ago. Me, Roxy Riddlebox, Don Chaos, and Steel City Dahmer. We went and saw Fright Fest in Denver at the Roxy. Had nothing but a good time, man. Nothing but a good time. So fuck all the haters.
Homie. And Warlock side, laugh my ass off.
What's up, Warlock side?
yeah.
Come here, man. So, let's see here. Some of these shows you and me went to, Roxy. Here, we went to Mad Child in 2015. Yeah, at the Roxy.
Yeah, I could tell us at the Roxy by that ticket stub.
Here's a Twisted show we went to. This is the Cottonmouth King show that you took me to the summit. We went with Diane.
Oh, yep. The homie Scene Loc opened up.
And that was when I kind of first found out that Dirtball was part of the...
Yeah, that's when I found out the whole thing fucking changed. And it was like just Dirtball and what, Daddy X and D-Lo?
No Daddy X, just fucking Richter and D-Lo.
Oh, no, it wasn't Richter.
No, you're right. Yeah, it was Daddy X.
Yeah. But,
yeah, Daddy X, Dirtball, and D-Lo.
Yeah, I'm like, where the fuck everybody else at? The fuck?
Ritz. I think this is the first Ritz show you took me to.
Yeah, you were sleeping on Ritz for too long. Better peep out that White Jesus. That shit's dope.
This was the Welcome to the Underground tour. Remember this one, Roxy, with Prozac, Twisted, Blaze, I think.
I think Boondocks is on that show too.
Oh yeah, and Boondocks. Jeff Turner.
Oh, Jeff Turner's the sheezy, man. I love Jeff Turner. He's from California, Bay Area. And that dude is underrated as hell. Jeff Turner, if you haven't fucking heard of him, go check him out. Super dope artist. Very, very talented. Raw.
Yeah, fucking Bay Area, right?
Yes, he's from the Bay Area.
So there's a bunch of Twisted ticket stubs in here.
Yeah, definitely flannel. I'll go to a punk show.
Yeah, I'm down.
Come to Denver. Dude, I'll go. Fuck, that sounds awesome, man.
I think there is a punk rock bar somewhere down in Denver. I just don't know what it's called.
Where's the event at in September, my homie, Captain Flannel?
I'll go too.
Yeah, I'll definitely go to that. I've been needing to go to like a metal show or a punk show or something. I need to go headbang. I need to go jump in a mosh pit. I need to go fucking blow some steam off at a hardcore show of some sort.
I'm down as fuck, man.
Lakeland Lunacy said he and his wife may come too to Denver for a punk fest.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
I'm there, bro.
I'll be there.
Shit.
Hell yeah.
Imagine that.
Hell
Lakeland
yeah.
Lunacy in Colorado? Whoop diggity to that shit. With Captain Flannel? I mean, damn, that would just be dope, man. It would be like, I would be fucking geeked if y'all actually came out. So let me know when that is, man. Give me some deets, bro. Fiddler Green.
To get,
oh man, that's where I saw System of a Down the one time I got to see them. All right, I'm gonna peep it out, man. I know what Fiddler Green is. That's what's
I've never been to Fiddler's Green. I'd love to go.
I have.
It's a pretty dope venue. It's kind of like if you remember the venue in Austin, Texas, where we saw Slayer's last tour. It's sort of outdoor, like, but it's smaller in
Yeah,
proportion.
I would love to go there. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention too that we did in this era was the very first Attack of the Ninjas.
That was dope as fuck. That was amazing.
It was the Mirror show.
And you guys did also mention you saw Lamb of God in Slayer's last show.
Yes.
Yeah, Lamb of God, Anthrax was there, Behemoth was there. I missed Behemoth, but I caught the last Anthrax. I was sick.
Hell yeah.
Lamb of God, Slayer, of course, fucking classic. It was a beautiful show, man. For sure. And we found these juggalos. We were kicking it with some juggalos at the Slayer show. We found this couple. They like originally were from Cali or something, and they were fucking just chilling, and we kind of saw each other, and they were rocking something, we were rocking something. We were just like, yo, whoop, whoop, like, what up? So
Roxy, look, one less G in the hood.
Oh yeah. And that was sick. And they did Lotus and Ridas at that fucking after party for
Yeah,
Attack of the
everyone lost their minds.
I know, Steel City. I missed Behemoth because I got there a little bit too late, and the parking was crazy, and like we were in a fucking weird, we were out of state and shit in Texas. And,
We just got there when Behemoth was going on stage.
Yeah, we like rushed in there, and I could hear them, and I'm like, "Fuck, we're missing Behemoth right now!" Like, God damn it, let's go! But yeah, it was fucking a sad moment, man.
Heckles and macabre, heckles and macabre.
Seventh Dimension in the house. Speaking of which, homie, I just got a package today. I'll let you know how it's going, bro.
Oh, you got a package from him?
Yes, I did, just today.
What is it, Kratom or coffee?
Hashtag Kratom saves lives, motherfuckers.
Was it Kratom or coffee?
Both. A ninja with a pencil says, "Hey, thanks for popping into that premiere of that drawing time lapse, Roxy. I greatly appreciate your kind words. Anyone that checked it out, you to shit." Yo, that was.
I did check it out, homie.
Ninja with a pencil. I wish that.
I think we'll be doing more videos.
Yeah, I was just about to say I wish we'd get more of that because that is super duper fresh, my homie, and that picture is epic. Like, really, really dope.
Look, Don Chaos, Boulder Theater, Great Malenko.
Yeah. Now this has become the call on Carnival Spirits.
The what?
This has become the Colorado Juggalo takeover on Carnival Spirits.
Yeah, I know. I kind of lost track of the whole Missing Link era podcast, but hey, we're still talking about shit during that era.
Because all three of us on here right now are all living in the same state.
Yeah. So what's up with that? What did they send you, Roxy? Did he send you Kratom or coffee or both?
Both. And he says, let me know what you think. I will, brother.
Nice.
Sure. Thanks for sending me out something.
Yeah, thanks for what you do, Leroy. Man, that's fucking dope, man.
Oh yeah, Seventh Dimension, man.
So yeah. Oh no, I'm kind of going off track a little bit here, y'all, but I want to just invite anybody, if anybody wants to fucking come on and say the last bits. This is the last call. If anyone wants to link and talk about the Missing Link era. Otherwise, we finna wrap this shit up soon.
That's right.
Find your business.
And late. Especially for the East Coasters in this bitch.
Yeah, it's like 1 in the morning on the East Coast. But yeah, real quick, I just want to take a real quick chance to plug my channel. Thanks for Carnival Spirits for letting me do a Juggalo takeover. If you guys want to subscribe to my channel, the link is in the description. I try to come out with fresh content for any of y'all who haven't heard of me before. I do a podcast usually once or twice a week about Juggalo news. And then I also do another one involving bougie beers where I review craft beers and beverages. So make sure to like and subscribe, motherfucker.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us for the marvelous Missing Link era in-depth review with Danny Boy and everybody else that joined us and participated. Don Chaos, Brooklyn, Beastmasters, Scottish. Who else joined us? Whoever else joined this call, and everybody in the chat that's showing love all the time. Mad whoops. to all y'alls.
Also, be prepared tomorrow, y'all. The Hours of Chaos podcast will be live and direct tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't miss the Hours of Chaos podcast, y'all.
With Dom Chaos and Roxy Riddlebox.
Hell yeah. Hashtag Juggalo Takeover.
Hashtag
Hashtag so yeah.
Hashtag Juggalo Unity. Hashtag One United Juggalo Nation.
All right. Much love, y'all.
That's right. All right, Mad Freshness, y'all. Much motherfucking wicked killer clown love for life. We out this bitch. 303 Ninjas. And we out. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.